Initiating system. Initiating System 1. System 1 loaded.
The Gorecast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Gorecast presents to you one of the most extreme fight nights ever seen in the world. It's Cage versus Cage versus Cage. It's a Cage Fight Thursday.
I wonder who's going to win.
As I forgot to turn it off and it was flicking on the screen while I was talking. If you haven't done while you were here before, make sure to hit like and subscribe at the start of the show. We'll do it at the end of the show as well because I made a button for it and fucking I'm going to use it. Yes! Tonight, it's the long-anticipated Nicolas Cage versus Nicolas Cage versus Nicolas Cage, and also slightly teaching Buzz of the world of Face Off because he didn't know it existed until now.
I didn't know it existed. I just hadn't watched it.
Sometimes we just have to find a theme just to make Buzz watch shit, and we do.
Be prepared for a lot of wide-eyed stares, because that's what goes on in a Cage movie.
Yes, sir. As I said, if you haven't liked and subscribed before, like and subscribe while you're here. And as it says at the bottom of the screen, if you feel like murdering someone this week or something's going a little bit weird or you're feeling a little bit flammable in the head, take a breath, sit back and ask yourself,
oh my God,
what did Keanu Reeves do? Everyone will make the world a better place. And other than that, hi friends.
Yeah, shoot a lot
Welcome.
Of people
How's
while
everyone?
avenging his dog.
He'd probably bring the world a Coke.
Sometimes that's all. Sometimes that's all the world needs.
Not a Coke.
It probably wouldn't be a Coke. It'd be like
Coke is...
it's Keanu Reeves though. It'd be like a kombucha.
Yeah, it's not gonna bring you actual Coke like in the cocaine.
Yeah, but I wouldn't see him promoting drinking that kind of filth, foreign filth.
Coca-Cola.
They clean car engines with that, you fucking nut job.
He'd probably give you a Canadian Dry because he's from Canada.
Or just give you a motorbike because he owns a motorcycle company and he's filthy stinking rich.
That too. Or some maple syrup because that's Canada too.
Anyway, as I was saying, Buzz hadn't seen Face Off, so we spawned a show where I was like, there's definitely enough Nicolas Cage horror movies that we can sandwich some Face Off action in there somewhere and still have a horror show. And if you can't see the horror side of Face Off, I don't know what it is. Because it literally involves a guy peeling another guy's face off and wearing it around. You know what I mean? The only difference between him and Leatherface is he paid a little bit more money and it's a little bit better surgically done.
Do you know who on screen is kind of a low-key crazy man? John Travolta. And he did a good job in being kind of crazy sometimes too. Not up to Nicolas Cage.
Oh, he definitely channeled his inner Cage though.
Crazy. Yeah.
Anyway,
because technically he was paid.
Bree, welcome to the chat. Katie McNeil, welcome to that. Jer, welcome to the chat. There was somebody else there. I'll figure it out later when I find the no.
Ouch.
Yeah, Cage fight.
Carter,
Also
welcome
wanna
to the
say-
chat.
Cage fight night.
Also want to say thanks for everybody that helped us figure out what the other two Nicolas Cage films were going to
Yeah,
be.
there will be another poll again this week once we establish the choice of movies, which will hopefully be we're nearly established. We'll reveal what it is at the end of the show, but it's going to be a fucking fun one next week as well.
It's gonna
So,
be some fun
Anyway,
times.
yeah, Nicolas Cage. We got Face Off. We got Mandy, and we got the Color Out of Space.
Color out of space.
I was in prefix hell there
yeah,
for a
I kept
minute.
saying,
Those
like,
are the words.
color of space. I couldn't figure out why I was doing it wrong all the time. I think I even fucked up the
Other than
poll.
that, as is customary on any of the Gorecast shows, we have delved through the deepest, sordid, horror-y parts of the internet and wrangled out some tasty little news bits to try and keep us all a little bit more abreast of what's going on in the horror industry, because they don't know what's going on, and neither do we at the moment. Anyway, also, I said hello, friends, but everyone just kept talking. So how are we all getting on this week? Good?
Good. I'm good. I had some coconut pineapple beverage. Very good.
I should
For the
probably
show,
share
for the
this
program.
into the Amino chat. So
God.
give me 2 seconds.
You know what? You sometimes you
You too.
know
You.
him. He's
Sometimes.
not happy with my choice of beverages.
Wait, what are you
Fuck,
drinking?
dude.
Sorry, what are
Coconut
you drinking?
pineapple, like
It's a coconut pineapple beverage. It's like a flavored water.
Sounds
It has no
totally
sugar,
tropical.
so that's good. It is. I'm wishing there's
mint.
pineapples. There's pineapples and,
coconuts.
and some palm trees and yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing good. Except how's everybody else doing? Gaz, we haven't heard how you're doing yet. Looks like you're
Get back to
doing
me in a
something.
minute and I'll let you know.
It looks like you're doing something.
Override them. Issues I've attempted to overcome them. Talk amongst yourselves.
well, Buzz, thank you for asking. I'm doing well.
Well, technically,
not
Johnny
business,
asked, but I was just,
but
I could care less. Johnny's the one
Ah,
who asked.
feeling.
To be honest, I could care less as well. I'm just fucking trying to fill a bit of time while I sorry, I don't want people getting the impression that I actually give a fuck about shit, because I don't. So I'm just like putting that out there. It's merely a professional
that.
formality that a lot of the
Get that,
YouTubers seem to do, and I was like, I should probably adopt that.
We here at the Gorecast.
Actually, seeing as
don't
the
give a
intro I
shit.
did, I should have asked everyone how they're feeling, and when they tried to reply, I should have been, it doesn't matter how you're feeling. But anyway. What? Bud?
That's it. What? Okay. What?
Buzz is frozen on the screen, and it's very funny. Yeah, you were
What?
frozen like this for a good 10 seconds.
What?
Anyway, what's our first
It's a good
news bit
full
there,
should have.
Gizzles? It's got something to do with Bela Lugosi. Or Dracula, one or the other.
Full confession time, lads. Full confession time. While we were talking, one of the reasons why I wasn't responding was because my computer froze and I was restarting it.
All right.
Okay.
What? I'll just scream what for 20
Yes,
minutes until
It's
What?
okay. Johnny's got you
Okay.
covered. Johnny's got you
It's
covered.
not about Bela Lugosi.
What?
Chloe, I want
Nope.
to say Chloe Zion.
Yep.
Or Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao.
What? Thank you. Is going to be doing a sci-fi Western take on Dracula for Universal, which is going to be coming out in the not-too-distant future. Apparently, since...
I don't like it.
What are you making that fucking face for?
It's the fucking face I was born with, bro.
Not you.
I don't like it. Sorry, I'm already not liking the sound of this.
it's doing stupid face.
Anyway, Chloe Zhao, I believe, was the writer and director of Nomadland, and is basically looking at taking a slightly different approach to the whole Dracula mythos. I think generally going from the notion of him being an outsider, exploring the idea of a person who is kind of afflicted by this other thing inside them that drives them to be, a blood-sucking, evil bastard 90% of the time. Sorry, just trying to remember my password when I also talk and do stuff.
The sounds of this. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, because I hear vampire and Old West, and I think Blood Rain 2. Like,
that's not my
Sci-fi
problem with
Western.
it. My problem
So
with
I'm
it,
thinking, like,
my
Fire-
issue is that it's a Dracula thing, and I'm like, it's not
Right.
really.
Yeah.
Dracula vampire, like, I just immediately went to, like, Blood Rain 2.
Whoever
and that
dropped
was
the
a
subs
shit
there
show.
in the last 15 minutes, cheers for that, by the way. Thank you very much.
How do you automatically go to Blood
Yeah,
Rain if
my
somebody
issue
mentions
is
Dracula?
the
What the
description
snake?
of the vampire that's supposed to be Dracula is
Vampire.
counter to what I would have Dracula in my head as. Don't get me wrong, I'm aware he's a tortured
wasn't-
character and all of that, but he really does lean into the, I like eating shit.
All depends. Give me a couple of minutes and hopefully we'll have actual details rather than just trying to remember shit off the top of my head.
Actual details.
Come on, stupid ass computer.
It's the whole, like,
The Dark Universe
I don't
and
know.
all kinds of unique Universal monster movies are being put into the. No, according to the site, Chloe Zhao, Nomadland will be writing and directing the new take on Dracula for Universal, described as the original fucking hell, sorry. Oh, I'm very far away from my face. My old man eyes, I can't read it. Describe it as an original futuristic
Johnny's got it.
sci-fi western. THR notes themes of being on society's fringes, something Zhao has tackled in previous work, will course through the project's veins. Chloe's singular lens shines a light on stories of the overlooked and misunderstood. Universal Pictures president Peter Kramer said in a statement today, "We are thrilled to be working with her, and she reimagines one of the most iconic outsider characters ever created." And that's pretty much. There's no release dates.
Yeah, but it's also worth noticing. It's also worth noting that since Universal has pretty much given up on the Dark Universe, they've started kind of looking at creator-driven new approaches to iconic characters. We're going to be getting apparently another version of Dracula done by Karen Kusama, who did Jennifer's Body and The Invitation. So yeah, I imagine we're probably going to be getting a lot of, I don't want to say shotgun stuff, but odds are we're going to be getting a lot of different people taking a lot of different runs at a lot of familiar characters, since Universal
Shit
kind
the
of
bed on the Dark Universe.
John-
Is that what you were going to say?
I was gonna say let Tom Cruise shit the bed on the Dark Universe.
No.
You literally read my mind,
no.
kind of.
Oh, it
You
started
need
before
to
that,
give
bro.
credit where credit's due. Don't get me
Thank
wrong.
you.
I'm fully aware that he was quite responsible for shitting the Dark Universe's bed being shat.
I will say he shit the bed the worst, but not the
Boy,
first.
who's the first?
Fuck. Dracula was technically supposed to be the first, if I remember correctly.
Well,
Wolfman,
which
2010,
is terribly misunderstood in my opinion.
Really? I thought it was.
which is actually a fantastic film, by the way.
No, I dug the shit out of Wolfman, but I thought.
I think the problem with Wolfman was that in
You're
the
right,
year
you're right.
in the years that it came
Dracula-
out, I think the problem with Wolfman was that in the meantime, people had got used to these absolutely action-packed fucking werewolf movies where people are just tearing people apart left, right, and center and everything, and they forgot that the original story was a fucking... Because suspenseful horror movie with a man who's genuinely tortured because he's been cursed by turning into a massive wolfman beast thing and murdering people at night time because he doesn't want to.
Yeah, basically, Universal have been trying to reboot the franchise for a while. The first attempt
Right.
was actually Wolfman. Then later on, they kind of went, well, maybe if we try updating it a little bit, which is why, you can see that kind of like attempt at modernizing the
Yeah.
style between.
You can kind of
Wolfman
see
and
how
Dracula
Universal
Untold.
shit the bed.
So
I
then
was going to say, I was thinking of Dracula Untold. I thought that was the first one.
Yeah,
it
you-
was
you
kind
could
of
see
in regards
how-
to the idea of
you could see
updating
how
stuff.
Universal ended up shitting the bed, in fairness, and the public are slightly to blame because it was like Wolfman came out and they're like, it's not enough action-packed werewolves. There's too much people just fucking talking, and it's like it's like a
dude.
period drama. And they're like, okay, so what if we action up Dracula? And we'll do some war-driven backstories and let people, they'll get the action pack. That's not what Dracula's about. It's not supposed to be that action pack. It's supposed to be this guy who's supposed to go down and just kind of entice people in and turn them into vampires and things like that. It's not about battles and wars and action. What do you want from us?
And that's
this is exactly what the internet sounds
What
like.
do you
voice
want
and
from us?
everything.
Just tell us the movie you want and we'll make it. We have the money. We just want to make the money back.
Avengers. Make us Avengers. And then they let Tom Cruise into it and it all felt to shit.
Wait,
I thought
there's
Wolfman
movies
fucking
before
killed it.
Brendan Fraser's Mummy? God damn it, Tom
What?
Cruise.
No, dude, I thought fucking Wolfman killed it though. It had
Yeah.
that old school fucking look to it, but still new school feel. So, like I said, I thought Untold was supposed to be like the launching of the
Kind of was. My point was that Universal had been attempting to relaunch their movie monsters for a while. The Wolfman was the
Right.
first. If the Wolfman had worked, then I imagine we would have gotten a classical representation of Dracula, a classical representation of Frankenstein. It didn't work. So instead, we got Dracula Untold, which is the classic character, but they tried to kind of update it and make it seem more contemporary and modern.
Yeah,
And that didn't. They were planning on. They were planning if the Mummy didn't crap out. They were planning, I think, on
Yeah.
bringing it back around. You would have gotten characters from Dracula Untold making reappearances in the newly established, solidified Dark Monster universe. But it all went to shit. Anyway, should I move on
Yeah.
to
That
the
was
next
so
bit? Or
sad because there were so many cool elements of the Mummy, but just the overall, just
The major
you
problem
know,
with the
like-
movie was Tom Cruise likes fucking himself out of planes too much. That's the fucking whole fucking problem.
Yeah.
Do you mean go make it?
yeah,
Well,
go.
I-
The
It's
Mission
cool that you're
Impossible
like a
movies have
fucking
got so
50-year-old
out there that if you want to do a Mission Impossible movie featuring a vampire, I'd probably fucking watch it at this stage. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're so fucking far away from what the original source material was.
talking for an hour about this, and there's like all the rest of the thing to do. And
I swear it's like a horror
my
discussion
bad.
show that we do. I don't. It's mad.
I know, it's
Okay,
amazing.
what's the next news bit, Gizzles?
Apparently, there's going to be 2 movies coming out soon between from M. Night Shyamalan, who is, after doing a deal with, surprisingly enough, Universal again. The first of these
Okay.
releases is going to be
You bitch about our sidetrack, but then you're like just kind of bringing us back around, dude.
the first of these films is going to be called Old. Apparently, there's a trailer
All right,
going to be
welcome to the
released
chat. How are you?
on Sunday, according to Deadline.
I'm talking
What?
to the chat.
Oh,
Yeah, there isn't a lot of details available at the moment, apart from the Shyamalan himself released a bunch of kind of like tweets with 5-second bits from the film, all of them ending with the line of where is it? Time's running out or something. But it's being described as a new trip from writer-director M. Shyamalan. It's only a matter of time. That's what it is. But look at things, it seems to be a family going on vacation to, I think, an out-of-the-way beach or island or something like that, where they run into something that's no doubt going to try to kill them all, and I think probably drain them slowly, make them go old.
Right,
something like
that sounds
maybe.
shit. What's the next
But
news
anyway,
bit?
there'll be a trailer for it available on Sunday.
so we're not talking about
no,
this one?
we don't have time.
Okay, cool. No, you're right.
Cool.
I'm not Shyamalan. Move
Yeah.
the fuck on.
I
Here
won't
we
lie
go.
to you. It sounds shit, so I'm just like fucking. Right.
Okay, Small Town Monsters, the people that brought us such documentaries as On the Trail of Bigfoot, Mark of the Bell Witch, and Mothman Legacy, are set to bring a sequel to their Bigfoot documentary with On the Trail of Bigfoot, The Journey. The documentary is, let's see, it's set to look at new evidence with Seth Bradlove combing upstate New York for any evidence of the elusive creature many claim to have seen. Now, there's an
In
official...
upstate New York?
Apparently, an official press release says Breadlove and his crew head to the Adirondacks of upstate New York last summer for an intensive adventure-filled week searching for Sasquatch. The team documented the trip, which included multiple days and nights in the forest around upstate New York and western Massachusetts. Their trip was spent with Bigfoot researchers like Steve Culls, who did Monster Quest, and Paul Bartholomew, who did Finding Bigfoot and Beast of Whitehall. These 2 lads led them around the quarry. On the Trail of Bigfoot, The Journey is just one chapter in the ever-expanding On the Trail of line from the independent production house. Apparently, they've also got such things as On the Trail of UFOs, which was, the follow-up to their best-selling Amazon series On the Trail of UFOs from 2020. Oh no, that's going to be the follow-up series is going to be making its debut next spring. That's what it is. The new one is set to be coming out, I think, premiering later on this year, along with On the Trail of Hauntings and On the Trail of the Michigan Mothman. Both series are apparently going to be initially exclusive to the Small Town Monsters YouTube subscribers for their wider release in later 2021.
Did we talk about this before, or was it a different documentary? That production company name is ringing a bell with me. Or actually,
they've done
hang
a
on,
few.
hang on. Sorry, I think I may have actually seen. I think I may have actually seen that Mothman one. Is that
The Mothman
documentary? I skipped Legacy.
Yeah, it's the production company name's ringing bells with me. That Small Town Monsters. I definitely watched something by them recently.
Yeah.
It was the Mothman Legacy part that I kind of went, ha.
Run, rabbit.
But
Because that was supposed to be more like a heavier.
If I see it, I say it. I can't help it. I
style.
just love that fucking line. Sorry.
Run,
rabbit, run! It's just that scene's just so well fucking edited. There's all the crazy stuff and just cuts back to his face. Run, rabbit! Oh, it's fucking. You punched my microphone. Yeah, I'm down for any Big Feats documentaries. I'm a big fan of the Bigfoot.
Sam
Squatches.
I don't know, dude. I'm kind of burned out on
Sam
fucking Bigfoot.
He loves him some beef jerky, though. Have you ever seen those commercials?
He does. Like,
Yeah,
that's the reason
Yo,
why.
hang on. If you're going by that rule of thumb, then he also
like Sasquatch
at Verizon.
snapped into it. And I was like, okay. So
If you're going by that rule of thumb,
Two people were talking. I heard zero of
I
it.
was saying,
I like fucking Slim Jims because of Bigfoot.
Okay.
There you go.
sorry, I definitely misheard what you said there because what you said could not be what I heard. Will you repeat what you said, or do you want me to tell you what I think I heard? Because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong.
Say what are you talking
I heard I got limp dick because of Bigfoot. That's what I heard.
Oh, wow. No.
Okay. Yeah, well, in fairness, I did say I'm pretty sure I heard that wrong.
Jim. Bigfoot. That did not
Slim
sound
Jim
any better.
Bigfoot?
Yeah, no, that didn't really sound any better. Hey, you know what?
No, it didn't.
Oh.
No.
It was chaos.
Digging a hole.
Dig up,
And
stupid.
it wasn't Slim Jim. It was Jack's Links. That was messing with Sam Squatch.
That's right,
Slim Jim
that's
was
right.
the macho man. Ooh, yes. Never do a Slim
I was saying,
Jim, brother.
by your rule of
That was
logic,
Slim Jim.
that Bigfoot eats loads of jerky. Also, he shops at Verizon, if memory serves me correctly, and evidently gets awesome reception out in the woods.
No, for some reason I thought Macho Man moved on and fucking Bigfoot picked up. But
But
you're
they're
right.
both large,
Oh, yes,
muscly,
did
hairy
move on.
beasts. So, oh yeah. Sorry, again, it has to be done.
Right.
Ultimate Warrior actually did some. back in
He
the
did
day.
a whole lot of something back in the day, I'd say. Oh yeah.
The 80s wrestling were right before a promo. They all just snorted some cocaine.
Right. While I queue
Or
up
during
the
promo.
trailer background video here for the first movie, we also Sweet Rabbit and Art have joined the chat as well. So hello to them.
Hello.
Yeah, I wasn't been tested.
Well,
I
I'm
wasn't been
just gonna say,
tested with the M Night Shyamalan thing. I got the impression we were on a
No.
time frame, and it didn't sound good. I was just like, this sounds like every other M Night Shyamalan movie I've ever fucking heard about.
Dude. Like, I don't
was
really want
just worried about going
like,
on a spire.
I don't want to
Going on a
shit on
spiral
it
are
because
kind of what we're renowned for doing.
No, I mean like a fucking 2 hours later, and we're still talking about the Dark Universe spire.
Oh no! Look,
Okay,
trust in my abilities to know this is
have
going
to
down a
shit.
dark hole. It's why I don't let us talk about Avengers anymore. The minute I hear the Avengers come up, I just move the fucking conversation along very swiftly and just that's that.
You know what? We just need to like take fucking notes and then have like a side of all the fucking notes and just
say hey
rabbit hole out of it, dude.
Say hey to Wednesday. She just joined the chat.
Hey, Wednesday. How are you?
Hello. We got lots of peeps.
We got a whole bunch of peeps
tonight.
going on
Welcome,
tonight.
Fucking awesome. We should have
Christian Cage. Been looking at my plates.
You know, but like, I don't want to fucking shit on M. Night Shyamalan because
disgusting.
Why?
I see dead people.
Sorry, I'll fucking shit in them whenever you fucking want. I don't have a problem with that.
Just as long as it's not Bloomhouse again, dude.
No, it won't be Bloomhouse. It won't be Bloomhouse.
No, he's not as big as Bloomhouse. We're good.
Yeah, he's not shutting us down.
Right. No,
Shyamalan.
like I don't know, man. I dug his style, but unfortunately, it's kind of a one and fucking done. He sticks to that same fucking style. Yeah. So once you've seen the whole, I see dead people. And I can't remember the name of it. When it came to The Village, I was like, wait, there it is. Called it. Like there's no fucking bang for your buck with this shit anymore.
I don't know why my camera's flashing. Sorry about that, people.
Okay, just me. All right. I thought I was having a moment.
Yeah,
cool.
I
feel better
know what's going on there.
What's in your drink, Carter? Let's your drink.
Carter's been drinking some of that Mandy juice from the sounds of it.
I guess all of the films have suspect drinks in them. You know, there was that drink that Castor gets handed. That's definitely got something in it.
I would say off the top of my head, mescaline, if I was to go with anything.
Wow, I just got to start.
Sorry,
I don't know if I could dog or rat, but all right. Like I can't completely argue because I've eaten fucking frog, but I just don't know. Rat. That's.
Hey, it was good enough for Sylvester Stallone.
He was Rocky.
Katie, I also thought I was having a stroke. Thank you.
Actually, Gorecast
as we're all kind of older gents, I can give you a little tip there. If you don't smell burnt toast, you're okay.
Like, right. But then all of a sudden, like, my paranoia kicks in.
If the screen starts flashing and you smell someone burning toast, you should probably call an ambulance.
No.
I have a toaster in my room, so it's probably not a really good way for me to figure it out.
Right. Like, I can talk my way out of it.
Call me crazy.
Like, okay,
are you toasting right now?
It's just me.
Would you not say that there would be a distinctly burnt toast smell lacking currently due to the fact that you're not rightly burning toast right now?
Well, you know, in the air.
Thank you.
I think I proved my point.
That's
anyway,
what
you're not Face Off. You're a fucking Bigfoot. Face Off. No, you're not Face Off. What's going on? Face Off. We got it. It took a minute, but we got
Silly
it.
Face Off.
Yeah. So, Face Off, the movie that spawned the whole. Rochi, what's going on, Home Slice? How are you, sir? The movie that spawned the whole idea for this, because somehow Buzz has done 35 years in this planet and hasn't seen this fucking movie. At which point, everyone else in the chat, 75% of the show hosts went.
For one thing, it came out not the whole 35 years. There's some time before it came out that I was alive. So don't say the whole 35 years. Cut off a few years when it wasn't out yet.
What year were you born?
We'll say 25 years, maybe. I don't know what year it came out.
So not a drastic.
Face Off, 97.
97. How old was Buzz?
I was 12. I was 12.
Cool.
Jesus. All right.
So it's 24 years ago.
97.
24 years ago. Anyway, okay.
Okay,
let me redo the intro. The movie that spawned the whole fucking idea for this show, because Buzz in 25 years hasn't managed to get around to watching the fucking thing somehow, even though the rest of the planet has fucking seen it.
10 years makes a difference.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Somehow he hasn't got around to seeing this yet. Busy schedule and all. In a quarter of a century. Just throwing it out there.
I'm very in demand. I'm making toast. Can't be
Your
bothered
toast
to
skills
watch
are
Face
supreme.
Off. I got some
Anyway,
toast to make.
who's taking away Face Off?
There you go.
Or will I take away Face Off? Okay.
Not me.
Oh, I want to hear. No. I want to hear Giz's fucking take on Face Off. Giz, what's Face Off about, bro?
I liked
It
it.
was good.
I did. I fucking loved it.
It was good.
I fucking loved it.
It was good.
God, I'm gonna fucking
Okay.
own that forever. Aren't I?
So, once upon a time, someone had a script that they thought was a really good idea. And after shopping it around for a while, John Woo
I'm
was
hyped.
attached to direct it. And all of a sudden,
Yeah,
it became
'cause
a
John
good
Woo
idea.
was like, you know what this
And then
movie's
several
missing?
people
A fuckload
were
of
thought of-
explosions.
Now, several people thought it would be a good idea, or several people were considered for the roles, including, at first,
Boo.
Sylvester Stallone
Boo.
and Arnold Schwarzenegger. However, John Woo instead turned around and went, you know what? Do you know who I think would be good? John Travolta and that mad bastard Nicolas fucking Cage. I can do things with him. And things they did. Oh my, things they did. Nicolas Cage stars as Castor Troy. He of the famed Greek Gemini astrology, along with brother Pollux, are two horrible bastards that like making bombs, as they are, well, I suppose crooks for hire is the best way of putting
He's
it.
like this world's Joker. He likes blowing shit up, getting paid for it, and he's not as much of an anarchist as Joker, but the same MO.
Right, but that was, I mean, like technically that was John Travolta.
Well, not
playing
at the
Troy,
start
right?
when Nicolas Cage plays
No,
Troy.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Nicolas
Because
Cage
the way you're describing the
Nicolas
movie,
Cage's character
it's
is
not
Castor
Face Off,
Troy.
it's just
That's right.
people playing
There we
different
go.
people.
Right, it's just
Yeah.
That title does not work.
It's long.
Face
Face
Off's
Off's
long.
way snappier. Yeah, I agree.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
People play people.
Castor and Pollux are being literal professional bastards, blowing shit up and getting paid for it. Meanwhile, John Travolta is playing FBI agent Sean Archer, who is very, very not happy with Castor because a few years ago, Castor was a very naughty boy and shot him and his son at the same time.
There's a
killing his son.
vendetta thing between the
which,
two of them. They don't like
you know,
each other anyway. And he's
I was gonna say
Archer.
that
Archer's the
fucking-
kind of
yeah.
Archer's
There's
the
a
kind
pure
of. I'm
bit.
reluctant to say Batman because he's not as smashy. Do you know what I mean? But he's the. I know.
thought you
I
were
know.
gonna
I'm
say
mixing
rich.
comic book genre or comic book companies here by saying this, but he's like a real Captain America
Only
kind
true.
of person. And Castor Troy is very much the
Oh,
Joker.
Yeah, Captain America by the book, but with a little bit of Frank
Yes,
Castle
I don't
drive
mind
to really
elbow
get in
fucking
there.
someone in the
Oh,
back of the head
yeah.
while I'm trying to get them in the back of the car. That kind of thing.
Definitely the fucking Frank Castle.
So anyway, that drive and that determination does in fact lead to Pollux being captured and Castor being put in a coma, which is all cool and dandy until it turns out that under interrogation, Pollux actually has this really nifty kind of blueprint for a bomb, and worse yet, it turns out he's got digital prints, and this thing looks like a motherfucking
take out a
like,
whole bit of
mile-wide
city,
killing machine.
rearrange a
No
whole
idea
bit
what
of the
it is.
cityscape.
Yeah. It will
Yeah,
fuck up
I-
your
Yes, sir.
day and everybody around you.
A mile-long crater for the initial blast, and depending on prevailing winds, the biological agent could just reduce Los Angeles to chemical dust. So, unfortunately, CCH Pounder, who plays I can't remember the name of her character. So I'm always going to
Who?
call her Claudette.
Just call
from
her
The Shield,
Claudette from The Shield.
Unfortunately,
Sasha?
Just call her Claudette from The
What?
Shield. It's funnier.
it's that. Okay,
Gina
so
Gershon?
Claudette. Hollis Miller is the name of the character. The actress's name
Claudette
is
from The Shield.
CCH Pounder.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, she is the one who found this disc with all the technical information, and she comes up with this really awesome idea. They have this cool special ops surgeon dude who does really awesome stuff, and they're going to take John Travolta's face off and replace it with Nicolas Cage's face, making Archer into Castor and Castor into a skinless wonder
And
who is in a
surgically
vegetative
implant a
state
little
in
voice
coma.
Face
synthesizer
off.
in his throat so he
Face
speaks in
on.
Castor's voice.
And I gotta say, he took that shit well. So we're gonna take.
Are we
Yeah, we're down.
down or?
Well, we're not. The stream isn't down yet. And it isn't because it seems to have reconnected unless it does that thing.
Okay, I'm gonna take it. Nope.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
we're
we're back. Whew, that was close. That was hitting that time limit where I was like, oh, it's going to shut the stream then. Anyway, okay. Where were we? Castor's unconscious on a table and he's got no face.
Yeah, and instead Archer gets Castor's face and gets infiltrated into the maximum security don't fuck with us prison where his brother is so that he can find out where the smeg that great big LA killing bomb is. And it goes pretty okay. Yeah. You know, Archer's able to pull off the idea that, look, I've been doped up on meds. This is why I'm not firing on all cylinders. You're going to help me out. Blah, 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 blah. By the way, where'd we stick that bomb again? Oh, yes. That's right. It's in the convention center. Cheers, sucker. Yes, and tries to make his escape. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to Archer, old Castor Troy has woken up and he is absolutely loving the video show of his face being removed. And he's gotten these goons to grab the doctor and bring him in. And you get this really cool scene where he's like a skinless, faceless dude having a smoke.
Which is great.
Because, you know, he's just...
And even while wearing that skinless face prosthetic, you can still see all the crazy Nicolas Cage-isms under it.
Yeah.
It's...
Oh, dude, I'm not going to lie. To me, this will be my all-time favorite Cage Travolta film. Like, they fucking...
Are there other Cage Travolta films?
I was thinking... No,
I'm sorry. This will be like one of my favorite Cage films.
Sorry, I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were able to duplicate and get that weirdness going is the Travolta Cage favorite. But no, this will be one of my favorite fucking Cage films.
Anyway, like I was saying, Archer thinks he's home free and has the information he needs, except it turns out that Castor woke up, got his hands on the dock, and got Archer's face put on him. So now he is Agent Sean Archer going into the FBI, getting his brother out so that he can make a deal and fucking Castor and more importantly, just fucking Archer's wife.
Yeah.
Some of the most boring sex he's ever had in his life, evidently, just to let you know.
Just wait. There's more.
He comes up with an excellent plan. That plan is he is going to go legit, use the FBI connections to wipe out all the competition, then get his own face back and come back as an even bigger, badder king, crime lord, drug
who works for the
dude.
FBI.
Which, like, super shredder. Makes fucking sense because now he's kind of clean. Like, he can just fuck this all up.
And he does some very, very impressive fathering at one point, I thought.
Yes. I won't lie to you. In later life, as I've watched that movie, I was like, they make that out like it's bad parenting, and I really don't think it is. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I never thought it was
but the movie makes it out like it's bad parenting.
I was like, well done for that one parenting moment. Well done.
It does kind of come back and bite him in the fucking ass later on in the movie, but
it's stuck.
Or in the leg.
Good parenting that's stuck because when she needed it, she had it.
I liked how she remembered all the lesson too. Anyway,
fuck right, dude.
Archer is becoming basically hero numero uno after defusing the bomb that he fucking placed in the first goddamned place. While on the other hand of things, Castor is working on his brilliant escape plan, which involves a guy that's getting electroshock treatment and no longer gives a frack as long as he's getting out, and causing a minor/major riot in the prison.
It was definitely a major riot.
Well done on that one, by the way. Oh yeah, it was a definite major riot.
Oh, that was, yeah.
It isn't long, unfortunately, before Archer. It isn't long before the bad guys realize that the good guys are out, and the bad guys are using all the good guys' resources to try and kill the good guy. And then you get some really cool scenes. Like, there's a great scene whereby Nicolas Cage is looking at himself in the mirror, holding a gun.
I'm gonna
because on the other side of the mirror is John Travolta looking at himself and Nicolas Cage. So both men are looking at the reflections they hate most while wearing those reflections. That's just brilliant.
Oh, yeah, no, totally fucking brilliant. This was not just an action film. There was so much, it was a good fucking movie. They did so many scenes where, you captured the essence of who you were supposed to be for later on.
Yeah.
And then kind of revisited that. Like they.
One of the reasons that I watched this film in the first place, right? Because I was probably 15, 16. Actually, I was at least 16, I'd say, by the time I saw this, because give it a year usually for like Ireland to get stuff around the stage. But one of the reasons that I did watch it was because that was around the time when Channel 4 had been showing their Made in Hong Kong season, because I think it was a few years before the handover happened. And a lot of the movies that were involved were films by John Woo. So it was my first introduction to things like City on Fire, Hard Boiled, basically the films that made Chow Yun Fat. So as soon as I saw that it was John Woo directing this, it's like, okay, Nicolas Cage, who is kind of mad, but I liked him in this, and he's stupid in that. John Travolta, I don't know if I've ever seen a film I like John Travolta in. This is me thinking at the time, but John Woo is directing it. Yeah, okay, I'm going to watch this. And it seems like that, where if you've seen his other movies, his earlier works, he's that kind of style whereby the two of them just swing up at the same time and you get that standoff. Because I think something similar to that, I think, was in City on Fire, whereby it's the two characters on opposite sides of a window, maybe, or a mirror. But there's a lot of stuff throughout this movie that you can see the style of John Woo in, while at the same time trying to keep it to, I suppose, the pace that American audiences would expect and the kind of story structure that American audiences would expect. But really is good, fast-paced, interesting story. Nicolas Cage is insane, and then you have John Travolta trying to be Nicolas Cage insane and doing it well. One would only imagine what it would be like imagine the two of them just went out and just got locked drunk together just to see what the other one looked like.
Dude, and
that would be terrifying.
As I look back, I can't really say. I think Face Off may have been my second or third fucking Cage film, because what was it? Raising Arizona. No, I think I saw Con Air actually after Face Off.
Yeah, because it actually might have been after it.
And I was kind of looking up because there was another one that Travolta did later on where he was kind of it's not showing it. But no, so I think I saw Raising Arizona, then Con Air. So it wasn't like I didn't know Cage was a good actor. Like, I dug a lot of his shit, but I didn't know like crazy Cage until like fucking later. And I mean, like, who was it? Travolta had like a lot of films under him, so like I thought he was good, but to see the comparison and them to be able to like swap, dude, like, oh fuck, man, Face Off was brilliant.
Well, I mean, if you think about like on the acting side of things, it's not that hard for them to, like, don't get me wrong, it's always like hard to do acting in general, but I mean, it's not that hard for them in the greater span of things, because they don't spend overly long as each other's characters. It's literally just the opening and ending, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, but I still thought they kind of picked up little mannerisms along the way, though.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think you just read how each other's characters were supposed to be. You're a maniac.
Okay. You know what, though? Right. You can read a lot of shit, though, but still, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, I still thought they did good. I don't know, like, the chemistry between the two of them maybe is what it was. Like, I don't know. But the fact that the two of them, it wasn't just a, like, read it and play a psycho. I felt like Travolta did Cage and vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really dug the story. Like, it was me being the first time watching it. So a lot of stuff that I was going to point out was pretty much already said. That scene that Gibbs was talking about with the reflection of them looking in the mirror and seeing each other, like you said, that's the face that you hate the most. Is almost yours. You're looking at it. Yeah.
And then, like, I guess Katie said she read somewhere there may be a fucking remake of it. I can't even think.
Probably because that's what Hollywood would do.
Right, but like, I can't even think of, like, off the top of my head who could pull that off, dude.
Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
Right.
Yeah. apparently Paramount announced in September 2019 they had plans to make a remake with a new cast. David Permit will be executive producer, with Neil Moretz to produce and Oren Uziel to write it. But that's about all the details. And
starring Justin Bieber.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
Somebody else sucks.
No.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, you know what? It's actually it's going to be The Rock.
No.
Yeah,
It's gonna be the Rock and John Cena.
Oh God. Let's see. Also,
can I point out something? No, probably not. Here's why. They only take his face off. They're very different colored people.
Right. To be fair, to be fair, in the film, they also remodeled John.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I can't see John Cena, so I forgot. I'm sorry.
In the film, they also remodeled the bodies. In Face Off, they remodeled
their
bodies.
color.
No,
they didn't need to because the skin pigmentation was close enough to get away with. That was actually one of the reasons they were saying it'll work is because you're so close in hair, in height, skin color, eye color, skin pigmentation. But we need to kind of remodel a little bit.
Okay, look, I dig The Rock. Jumanji, I was surprised. That shit turned out better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I've dug a lot of his films, but I swear to God, the fucking, oh, hey, let's do this. They're going to, like, with The Rock, they're going to turn it into some fucking, like, nut slap comedy.
We are just spitballing. There's no cast for this thing yet. No one's heard any news about it since 2019. Relax, dude.
But you and me have gone back and forth with 21 Jump Street, where that was a good show, but we tend to kind of like turn it into a slap nut kind of fucking comedy. Chips, fucking 21 Jump Street, stuff like that. They tend to like downgrade it into this Baywatch filled bullshit.
Every time you say slap nuts, I think of Jeff Jarrett from WCW. Listen here, slap nuts. Hit you in the head with the guitar.
Anyway, sorry.
I was going to say, Art said that best John Travolta acting since Battlefield Earth. Was that really acting?
That's a bad movie.
Thank you.
He was in Look Who's Talking.
I will give that since like best acting almost.
Look Who's Talking.
Bad movie.
Oh man.
Anyway, we're going to hit the trailer for Face Off, and we're going to be back where I like the movie. Sorry, I never said anything about it. I like the movie. Action's good. Shot really well. There's some really cool. Some of the action choreography and some of the longer kind of car chase scenes and the boat scene on the river is just fucking impeccable. Explosion fest, but yeah, everything's been kind of said. It's a real fun movie. It's good, and you get to see people remove each other's faces and wear them. We're going to hit the trailer for Face Off, and we're going to be back where we're going to be talking about Mandy, which is a whole different ball of fucking crazy. I don't mind telling you. Back in a mo.
I've been chasing this guy ever since I joined the force. He has no conscience, and he shows no remorse. He's the mastermind behind numerous bombings and political assassinations. He has a felony list a mile long: murder, arson, kidnapping, terrorism, you name it. He's the most dangerous and brilliant criminal mind I've ever known. For years, I've been watching him, tracking him, studying his every move. I know his every mannerism, facial tick, gesture. I know him better than he knows himself. And now, after all this time, I finally figured out a way to trap him. I will become him. If I live,
You're not having any fun, are you, Sean? Try terrorism for hire. We'll blow some shit up. It's more fun.
Plan B. Let's just kill each other.
It freezes the room, Art, because it's a terrible fucking movie, and everyone just instantly goes.
Yep.
No.
Dude, I wish I could.
Bad movie.
Dude, what was that John Travolta movie that was just good?
Pulp Fiction.
He played a fucking secret agent.
Broken Arrow.
No.
Well,
I fucking love Wild Hogs, and I won't hear anyone say anything else.
It was the only movie that I actually saw him play like bald.
I love Wild Hogs. It's so funny.
There's a topic that'll freeze a room.
It's
Wild Hogs.
Man,
Disgust.
I love Wild Hogs. Like your man, what's his name from fucking Scrubs?
Tim the Two-Man Taylor?
No, not him. Your man from Scrubs, that plays Dr.
JD?
No, not JD. You know the fucking head doctor guy.
Harvey
He's
guy.
always calling people Shirley.
Cox.
Yeah, Dr.
Oh,
Cox.
yeah.
He's brilliant in Wild Hogs as the fucking aggro, aggressive, I'm assuming hidden gay guy. Or maybe he's outwardly gay, I don't know. Very rapey. It's very...
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. From Paris with Love.
From Paris with Love.
It's the only fucking Travolta film that I've seen that he played bald. But it had John Ray's mom.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah.
He's a mad
he was just
bastard.
he was like, fuck. Because old boy had to pick him up from the airport and he had like 50 bottles of Red Bull. But he had broken his pistol down because you got to take your girl wherever you go. From Paris with Love. That's what it was. And it was weird because it wasn't coming up in his normal movie list. I had to dig for it and go John Travolta agent movie.
I forgot about that film. He's
Funny Jim. That's what it was.
Never seen it.
But I'm not gonna lie, I dug
Have you not
out
seen
of
this?
that.
What? He plays like the only way to describe him is it's like he's channeling his inner fucking Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, it really fucking
This
is.
isn't selling me.
Okay. A lot of cool shit blows up.
Did Michael Bay direct it?
I'll tell you what unsold me on the movie instantaneously is the only redeeming factor that you remembered that made you register what movie it was that John Travolta was bald.
And a mad bastard in it. No, he's a mad bastard in it.
Yeah.
Like proper holy crap, this is John Travolta.
I'm lighting this up for a very specific reason, people, because it's about to get fucking crazy for the next 20 minutes.
I hope you got your wood screws because we were about to blow your doors completely off.
2018, a movie came out that I will admittedly say myself and kids didn't like initially. I think visually, I think there's just so...
Okay, cool. I'm not the only one.
What? No, hold up. The first time I saw Mandy, I couldn't suffering from a mild case of alcohol poisoning due to poaching and absent-related hijinks. So as a result, the strobing lights and the mad color changes, my brain could not handle it. I had to go and hug the bathroom floor for a while. So
I think there was just so much visually going on the first time I watched it, it wasn't until my brain was able to slow some bits down because it had already seen them that I was like, okay, here we go. But yeah, no, I quite enjoyed it when I saw it. But anyway, Mandy tells the story of this couple who are living in a little house together up in a kind of out of nowhere, woody.
What was it called? Sugar Mountains?
Yeah.
Shadow Mountains. That's it. Somewhere near the Shadow Mountains in 83.
They are all in love and they are so fantastically normal but adorable at the same time. It's great. Unfortunately for them, there's a psycho cult of...
Normal?
Yeah, in a kind of hippie
Yeah,
way.
in a kind of hippie...
Yeah.
Like I said, what crazy love things did you see them doing outside of... They were having a bit of a canoodle at the start of the movie while watching horror movies, and then they were sitting down kind of cuddling on a couch eating dinner together. Like, there was no romantic walks on the beach. There was no fucking fantastic plane drives to France.
No, like, there's like my level of normal and like society's normal. So I guess I was kind of gauging off like society's because...
That's the
like,
most gizzest thing I've ever heard you say in my life.
Did you say the most gizzest
Yeah,
thing?
if that line came out of your mouth, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid.
Yeah, okay. But even I thought they were normal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1983. The two of them are one in what? They're
year of Deadly.
mid to late 30s. So odds are they were fucking in their 20s or in the 70s. So they probably did a lot of acid and other drugs.
They're
two
cuddling
kind of
in bed,
hippie-ish
listening
people.
to some fucking rock music, watching some horror movies on a couch and eating dinner together. That's what I meant.
Mandy likes drawing
Yeah.
shit. You know.
They
She's
managed
a little
to
bit
get
kind of
across how in
in
love
touch
the
with
two of them
her
were
friend.
together without any of these exuberantly large... Jesus, this really interrupted my flow of talking about the fucking movie. We've just got into a review. Without getting into these exuberantly large fucking scenes of romance or anything, you really get a fucking feeling that these two love each other, but it's in a completely run-of-the-mill kind of way.
Art said it best. It was a comfortable relationship. I will sell off on that shit. It was comfortable. Normal? Fuck no. Comfortable? Sure.
But what's not comfortable about normal or normal about comfortable? I said that in the wrong order.
The sparrow conversation.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, Mandy goes to the shops one day. Unfortunately for them, there's a fucking psycho cult of acid drinking fucking mental cases, basically. God-loving mental cases, which are always the worst.
Children of the New Dawn.
Yeah.
Yo, no, Children of Sorrow, wasn't it?
The New Dawn? Oh, Dawn. I think you said Dong.
Yeah.
I was like, then that makes sense.
Yeah, he does need a new dong, but we'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, the cult leader takes a fancy to young Mandy because she looks at him, and his acid head reads it as this deep eye fucking to the soul. She is the one. She'll be my queen kind of thing. So him and his psycho cultists decide to show up and kidnap everybody, and we're going to get Mandy all drugged up off her head, and she's going to join my cult, and I'm going to torture her boyfriend and tie him up in barbed wire because, you know, that's fucking religiously significant, and that's going to be perfectly normal, and I'm going to show her my man figure, and she will love her oh lord. But unfortunately, even as high as balls as young Mandy is, he's got a bit of a dinky wink, doesn't he? Just a little diddly do. just a little bit of a diddly do.
Teeny weeny.
It's not a shower, it's not a grower, it's just small.
Yeah, that's what actually she had, and then it got really weird.
No, not judging.
No, we didn't need to judge. Mandy did, because even off her balls on some crazy insecticide injection in her neck and on acid, she Santa Claus laughed right at his little pee-pee. And as you can imagine, as a person who thinks he's the next incarnation of God, that doesn't go down well. So suddenly, Mandy's eye fucking to the soul.
He tries to get it up by stimulation there.
Anyway,
didn't that work?
He soon deliberates and realizes that obviously Mandy's little eye fuck into the soul wasn't an eye fuck into the soul, and she's an evil fucking thing, and we're going to get rid of her, and we're going to get rid of her husband. Unfortunately, they're so fucking high as balls that they forget to get rid of her husband, which is a big fucking mistake. When they drove off
No,
and
I
he was
felt
still
like
tied
yeah.
to that stake, I was like, I know he's tied up in barbed wire, lads, but come on. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking seriously, boys.
It wasn't even barbed wire. It was just wire.
It was barbed wire in his
steel
mouth.
wire. I thought that
they
was
threw
at
a
first, but I think
fucking
it's just
plate in
steel
it.
wire tight.
No. There was barbed wire because if he when he was like crying out, you could see the barb side and like in the middle of his fucking mouth.
That must have been fans of some Cactus Jack back in the day.
Yes.
I feel like once you stick a fucking knife in somebody yay far, it's okay. Personally, I believe in double tap, but
We all do.
if you stick a fucking knife in somebody yay far, they're gonna die soon. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Unless it's Nicolas goddamn Cage.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
From a man who's been stabbed in the leg and punched the guy back in the fucking face. Sometimes adrenaline happens.
Right. Okay, but adrenaline over like X days. Because I felt like old boy had been tied up there for like a day or so.
No, the minute they drove away, he got out and left. Dawn didn't even rise. He was out. He was out of there. What I can only describe as a remarkably short amount of time.
I honestly didn't know though, because like I film sometimes like there's the hey it's been 3 days.
Customarily, you
really,
get a shot of the sun rising and setting again to give you a transition of time.
Right, which is I fully believe a film should
Or there's
show.
the times where they do show it to you, like in Monsterland, and you just miss it because that's what happened for me.
Or I don't know, fucking Rob Zombie's 31, where that shit's supposed to take place in 24-hour period, but it looked like it took place in 8.
8 4-hour periods, or 8 just the number?
No.
Yes.
No. Rob Zombie's 31 just did a shit job in showing like time transition. So I didn't know in Mandy, is it the same night? Is it like the next day? Did we drug this chicken like, hey, here's my dick? No. She laughed.
It's the same.
So we killed
it's the
her.
same night. They kidnapped them. He brings her back to the house. They drug her up. She sees the pee-pee. She laughs. She gets flame grilled. They leave her husband after stabbing him in the fucking ribs, and then he gets loose, goes to his fucking friend's house, who, without discussing anything to do with The Shining, he just gives him some advice about going hunting. Because Nicolas Cage is going hunting.
Can you blame him? It's Mac from Predator.
Yes.
Right.
So anyway, he decides he's going hunting. He goes down to his friend. He gets his crossbow, which I don't know. I'm assuming he loaned him or something. Anyway, then there's an awesome 18 scene with some 80s.
Like I'm gonna fucking
then there's an awesome
borrow this. Like
it's
I
his.
think it's his.
He's reclaiming.
It's Nicolas Cage. It's Nicolas Cage's crossbow. He left it with his buddy for safekeeping.
Oh,
there's a line.
okay.
There's a line out of Mandy. While she's drug tripping, your man Jesus is in front of her, and he's like, "What do you see?" And she says, "I see the Reaper coming." And it's kind of like, that's interesting. And then later on, it's Nicolas Cage arriving on. He actually says, "I come to you still have my thing. Come to get it."
Not unlike John. Not unlike John Wick, there's certain lines throughout the movie where you get a slight indication, which I like about this, because they really don't dwell on it. It's only a couple of lines that give you a slight indication that Nicolas Cage is well known for being able to fuck shit up in some aspect or another. Do you know what I mean?
In some former life, he was a major breaker
Nicolas Cage
of people.
Fucked shit.
Like you said, there's something
a living.
There's something cues to it.
And normally they try and drill it home. I do like that it's literally a couple of lines and you miss it. Do you mean even when he's talking to Richard's Brake? I'll get into that properly later on. But when he's talking to Richard's Brake's character, who seems to be so off his box on LSD that he's telekinetic or psychic, one or the other.
Thank you. Oh my god! Okay, cool.
I was discussing that in the
LSD is supposed to allow you to open your brain up to other levels of consciousness.
Chat yesterday. Like LSD and mushrooms it's not literally on the level of psychic, but it can up your empathy level so high that you're virtually able to just read people for a brief period of time, give or take.
Or pushing
you're
that
right.
boundaries,
And like,
it allows you to see different planes of existence, allowing one to reveal potential thought patterns for other people.
And like I kind of got that vibe because if you're dealing with the same 4 bikers that are going to come up to your lab to get, product, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, you made it here? Oh fuck. Like, so I kind of understood that scene.
Well, I like that scene as well. It's also Nicolas Cage. I like the fact that he doesn't particularly have a problem with Richard Brake's character. Richard Brake is kind of like, it's fucking a bad dose what they did to you and your missus, man.
Yeah, right.
You can't hold me responsible, though. I just make the wacky juice. They're the fucking ones that are doing it. I'm just fucking...
And he did right by him as well. It's
anyway,
kind of like,
before we get
you're
too,
right.
Yeah,
Here's
anyway,
what
before we get too far ahead, Nicolas Cage reclaims his crossbow. He then an A-Team 80s driven metal style fucking montage scene kicks in as he grinds some of the finest axery you're going to see in fucking cinema, and then goes off on a hunt. He goes off on a fucking hunting mission where he meets these 4 bikers who are essentially like the cult's 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Essentially, they're the slimy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. All right.
That's the whole point of them.
Okay, it's perspective. I didn't know. Like, I saw 4. I didn't really know. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't really get into this movie. I saw the 4 horsemen, but I didn't know if that was just me. So
the backs.
Yeah, the whole point is that it's littered with different
religious iconography
notions, both apocryphal and mixed in with high fantasy, which would have been prevalent, in the year that this film was set.
Again, like I'm thankful because I didn't realize, like, I didn't know if that was me reading into something or just, hey, so I just didn't get it.
Anyway, as I said, Nicolas Cage's character is off on a hunting mission at this stage. He goes, finds the bikers, starts just hacking through them one by one in an increasingly crazy level of fashion. He shit really picks up after killing one of the larger bikers, where he finds this jar of goop that I don't know what it is, but he
oh god.
Oh yeah, it was a lot thicker than acid. That's why I was like, well, if you look at the consistency of what Richard Brake is washing around on his hands, and you look at the consistency of what's in that jar, there's a lot.
Right.
There's a special.
Yeah, there's something about those lads that kind of leads you to believe that that's just like a high octane.
Well, I'd imagine what leads you to believe that is that Nicolas Cage literally takes one fucking lick of it and his whole body's on fucking fire, essentially, with fucking all of the trips.
No. He like touched the jar in his tongue. He had like the smallest amount of it, and like,
mate,
mate.
Bro, just to give you a fucking perspective on things, right? I don't know what your knowledge of acid is. That small amount on your finger, even with normal acid, could be you in a mental home for the rest of your fucking life. Yes.
Yes. Like, that motherfucker changed universes. And it was even out in the story, hey, like, the fucking maker was kind of like, I don't like these guys. Made a special bag that fucked him. Right. So, like, he made a point. The maker made a point to fuck them up. And now, like, this is just kind of their regular concoction. And fucking Nicolas Cage is like, I don't know what this... Boom! And we have a scene of his face melting off. Life being
do you know
born.
what I liked
like,
about that particular transition scene there was, even though it's a relatively kind of neon-drenched 80s style visuals and audio, for the most of it, they had a proper dubstep beat drop when he fucking... There's just like... Huh? Oh.
And I'll point out that the idea that that's the bad stuff that Breaker made just to get rid of them. And here they are years later, like, give me. Cool. These motherfuckers are drinking it like it's water. And Nicolas Cage is like, yeah, Pinky. Yeah. Ooh. And he's ready to go for the rest of the fucking film.
That's I won't lie to you. In his defense, he was ready to go once they burnt his missus alive, to be honest. Like, the acid, he was already killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. He had that, like, don't fuck up my, like, you revenge, my love. And then he, like, hey, here's like a handful of coke. Hey, here's some like gray shit in a jar. Coke, right? No, I understood the coke, but his gray jar kind of. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I was like, dude, better than me.
Anyway,
all right, cool.
Without getting too much into it, because I probably won't be able to, he goes on a hunt down of all of the guys, and eventually the bikers are smoting. He has a nice conversation with Richard Brake, which we already discussed a little bit, so there's no point getting back into that. And he wanders up to this fantastically, which by the stage you've seen him arrive at this church where your man is, you don't even know if that church is really fucking there, because he's been tripping fucking pretty fucking hard, because it's a really large glowing red church in the middle of what does look to be a relatively barren desert. Leading to the question, where are they plugging in all of these neon lights? I don't fucking know. But anyway, he goes in, and fucking Captain Pee-Pee and him have a discussion where you realize he's actually got as much balls as he does fucking dick, because he's a little whingy bitch god.
Who offered to suck his dick to not be killed.
Yeah, right?
Wait, no, you will bow to me.
I love that dick sucker scene. He's like, I'll do whatever you want, man. I'll suck your dick. And it's kind of like, where on the level of comparison does Krispy Kreme grilling my fucking missus in front of me and sucking my dick remotely equate to equal? It doesn't happen, you fucking psycho. Even if I wasn't off my box on fucking grey goop right now, you're getting fucking done.
No, dude, I gotta admit, that's the shit I love. I'll suck your dick. Fuck you. Oh, so we're just gonna change lanes?
I suppose go out on a high note if you know you're just going to get done. You might your last words. Right, you don't want your last words to be, "I'll suck your dick, man."
I'll be on your team.
So I couldn't really fault him for that one. I'll suck your dick. Oh, no, wait. I'll rot your soul. I'm better than you. Like, I couldn't really fault him for like trying to figure it out like a better lane.
Yeah, so that was Mandy. As I said, 2018. God damn, it's a trip, I will say. And like, here's the thing. I didn't particularly like it on my first watch, because I think myself and Giz did review this when it kind of came out initially, and I didn't like it. And now that I've watched it back, where you're kind of, I suppose, what's the word? Semi-desensitized to the movie a little bit on a second watch. It's so visually, and by purpose, visually and audibly disorientating, with the soundtrack and the fucking crazy editing and the fucking just all red. It's literally like watching a Fiend match with WWE. It's just red all the fucking time. And it throws you off. But once you go back a second time, there's a lot in there.
It's interesting how they basically took the, like I said, the film, because it's set in the 1980s, and because the character Mandy is such a kind of a fey character, she's into her fantasy stuff. She's reading a fantasy novel partway through it. So you get the impression that this is the world, dragons, that kind of thing. Yeah. So if you look at this film, it actually has all the elements of a classic high fantasy story. You have your hero, your retired hero, out in the woods, living with these misses.
Who's like a term, I think.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm like, this is not like
retired psychopath. Retired psychopath. Let's be fair.
Thank you. Right.
What the hell do you think a retired hero is? Because most of the time they're out going out killing everything within sight.
This is like, we are not talking about like Captain America that had been fighting for fucking 60 years. Right. And going,
we're talking about Odysseus. We're talking about Perseus. We're talking about classic heroes. Achilles.
No.
Hercules. Fucking Hercules.
No.
In his defense about Achilles, man, in fairness, Achilles smote on strong for...
As did Hector. They were the two baddest motherfuckers on the planet. My point is...
But there's no build-up to say, this is fucking Captain America. This is some dude, his old lady, that fucking came down a river to fucking, like, live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Like I said, you have the exact same basic outline as a lot of high fantasy stories, whereby you have a hero who you know is able to do shit, you have his missus, They're living happily. Something happens to cause the hero to go on the quest. The missus dies. This is a vengeance quest. Any morality, any rules that you're used to, go out the window. And he has to travel through the land, confronting all the evils that were set before him. The drugs that they take by fantasy, by having them all trip balls, the landscape starts to turn into the fantasy landscape that's on the cover of the book that she's reading at the start of it. The dream sequences drift into this as well.
He said some of the scenes in it are very reminiscent, like straight out of a page of heavy metal.
Heavy metal, yeah. And it's the same because that was inspired by those stories from those times, those visuals, those story ideas. The whole way through this film is a contemporary. It's a contemporary high fantasy story set in contemporary times, using drugs to take the place of fantasy elements through the notion of hallucinogen.
I don't know. Like, I just sign off in the word hero. This was like average Joe to me anyway.
I was only arguing with kids in relation to the word hero because I was like, he's far more the Punisher style of hero than hero, right? But in fairness, if you go by a typical hero story, some bad dudes showed up, they did some bad shit, and then he went and avenged them. It's just that he's a little more on the psycho level than the fucking...
If you look at the high fantasy stories, those kind of heroes are the I've fought my wars, I've fought my battles, I've killed a lot, but at heart I'm still a good guy. So we get lines, like you said, those subtle hints throughout the movie that clearly he's a good guy. We see that overtly, but there's these subtle hints that he's done stuff in the past and he's capable of doing stuff, so that when it does kick off, it's like,
okay,
that's
see,
what he was holding in.
And I guess that's my problem. I didn't get that from him. I got that she had like a weird past because she sits there and she tells him the whole Sparrow story. I never really got that from him, I guess.
What, kids just had a fucking revelation? Or he's smelling
burnt
toast,
thank
one or
you,
the other.
because I didn't get it.
No, it's very,
so please, because I honestly, I didn't get that from him. I got that she had the trouble past. And he was even like, oh, babe, sorry. But then, bad shit happened to a person who lost his old lady through some fucked up people. And then, revenged his way through.
Even her backstory slightly gives you an insight into his backstory. Like, all of these bad past that she had before.
Really?
If the past that she had was with such bad dudes, they don't tend to let people just walk in and take their chicks out. There's a fucking conversation had, if you know what I mean.
Okay, you know what? Art points out the stashed bottle of booze makes me think he was a recovering alcoholic. You know what? And like you even said it, the second take, maybe if I watch this again, later on down the road, a lot of this will holy shit kind of be moments. This was my first watch on it. So maybe this is just my weird
I won't
first
lie
take.
to you. Where he took that bottle of booze out of was also where they had all the medical stuff, and the fact that he was also dousing all of his wounds in the vodka, I felt like that mightn't necessarily have been vodka. It could have been just fucking medical spirits.
Well,
he had...
Some of us use vodka for medical purposes
that's
when
what
needed.
Vodka did get used for during the war and stuff, number one. Number two, he would have had to actually throw some of that medical spirits into his mouth because his whole mouth was ripped to shit. He had fucking barbed wire tied into it for fucking whatever.
Oh, yeah, right. And you even see him, at one point, he even grabs his throat because he sucks on that bitch for a couple of seconds. And he even was like, oh my God.
I think that's because he was drinking a shitload of straight vodka after witnessing his missus burned to death in front of him.
All of the inside of his mouth that is being doused in straight vodka has been sliced to bits by fucking a barbed wire gag.
Right. Yeah. So, because you're saying, he fought, I'm seeing my old lady fucking burned. He's chewing on this fucking barbed wire. So for him sucking that down, oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't think for a second it's oh, cool, whatever. He's gonna fucking be screaming out.
That flashback at the end where you see him meeting her in the biker bar art, I always felt that added. I felt that lent more into he used to be a good dude who had to do bad things, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so I could if it was to turn out that he was in some biker gang and he was their Tig, I wouldn't be surprised to put it in the Sons of Anarchy reference.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, like, if this is some Sons of Anarchy, yeah. I just didn't get that vibe in this movie. I thought it was just like
I think that's what the bad background is. To be honest,
shit.
I think they were in this biker gang and they wanted to go do their own thing, and there's a toot to tet that has to happen when you just go walking out of in fucking cinema biker gangs anyway, or Hollywood biker gangs. Do you know what I mean? You don't just walk away. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. So I felt that they'd already had their battle, and this was them having their nice. We just get to sit down and watch some horror movies, and fucking eat some dinners and cuddle in a bed and listen to some metal music, and you draw your fucking weird fairies or whatever it is you do. And then some fucking dudes on acid show up and
Sweet's like the
fuck shit up.
And Sweet's like the alcohol in the bathroom was weird, but like that was Cage. Like he just, like our whole theme is Nicolas Cage. That scene was Nicolas Cage. There's so many other Nicolas Cage moments, but like that was our like, okay, so like this is level 1. We're gonna and it just kind of kept upping as the fucking movie went.
I'll be honest, that was probably the only time I've ever seen, as you said, Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. I'm sitting there kind of going, this time I get it, because I would be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, there's partially him screaming about his fucking missus. There's partially he's flushing straight vodka into a load of fucking new holes he has all over. Like, I mean, you have to remember he removed the entire layer of skin off his hands, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, because like he's like you said, he's dealing with that fucking physical, emotional, and if you watch that scene, he's not really taking a breath. He's like trying to drown himself in what this bottle will fucking give.
The fact that he's the thing that I think the bit that I think in that whole scene that takes away from him being an alcoholic thing is the fact that when he fucks all the vodka in there initially, he's literally locking his throat, so it's not fucking going down.
Yeah,
it's just sitting there fucking steeping the fucking wounds or whatever. Then he screams, and then he screams about that.
He's coughing that shit up. Oh yeah, dude.
Like if you were an alcoholic, you wouldn't be blocking the flow of.
Sweet said it. I swear, at some point, Ghost Rider was going to pop out. I'm not gonna lie. Like as it progressed, and he got into the
well, he was covered in blood at one stage, surrounded by fire and swinging a chain.
I'm not gonna
around.
lie. Like I saw some shit. I kind of saw like some fucking Ghost Rider moments where he could have fucking popped out. Dude.
Anyway,
I can watch this. I don't think I can watch Ghost Rider with a straight face.
I forgot to have Mandy running in the fucking.
No, even I went back and watched it recently, and even my defense of it's a flaming skull biker doesn't work as well as it used to. Then again,
the Mandy trailer playing in the background while we were talking. Whoops,
okay,
sorry.
Yeah, no. I liked 1 better than 2. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. As in the list of movies, is it?
Buzz even nodded for it, so feel vindicated.
You didn't like Mandy?
I mean, what's worse? A steaming pile of dog shit or a lesser steaming pile of dog shit? They're both pretty bad.
I will still take your vote, so fuck it. I'm good.
All I gotta say is penis.
That's awesome. Thanks for your input.
I
felt like there was an element of the story that we didn't talk about enough, and I'm so glad you got to bring it up.
Yeah, because he couldn't.
Can you even count that as a penis?
I like that.
Like if I was told there was a dick shot in a movie and I went to see the dick shot, I would have been very upset if that was the dick shot that I got.
I will say though, I'm not trying to hate on Mandy, but the opening seriously challenged my fucking ADD because it was just a very slowish kind of like the conversations him and her had, and I really didn't fucking get into the cult. So I'm like,
it's like sometimes film directors when they're trying to work out a fully paced out movie don't take into consideration that people have ADD.
True. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like
Inconsiderate bastards.
maybe that's important.
Because if they did, I liked how you interjected before I finished the sentence, because it makes it better. Because if they did, the people without ADD would be like, this story's all over the fucking place.
I was waiting for that part.
Hence,
Like,
the
I'm not-
second half of Mandy.
There was a load of killing
not
at the
like-
start, then they were talking about some stuff in the middle, then there was a load of killing again in the middle of it, then they just stared at a wall for 45 minutes, and then there was a load of fucking killing again. The end.
Thank you. See, you
What is
get
with all the
it.
talking?
All right, you get it. No, fuck that. It's not about all the talking. It's that hand talking. It's hi, hey, what, who, what? I just like there was so emotion. No, like between her and her old man, like there was so little emotion. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this for the show, please. Oh my god, it took off, and
But
then it
this
got
is what I'm saying.
interesting.
This is
But
what,
there was so
this is
deadpan.
yeah, but the deadpan at the start is to try and show that they're like, as I said, it's this weird way that they show they're really happy and they're in love and everything in this completely mundane kind of style.
The Carter doesn't have time for
I
that
need some
shit.
fucking killing.
He wants some shooty bang bang.
All right, like no, like this is like
Like-
I think fucking Art said it. Like it's that weird kind of fucking norm. Like I get it.
People were getting
Like,
fucked up within 20 minutes.
hey,
Anyway, we're gonna hit
dude.
we're gonna hit the trailer for Mandy, and we're gonna be back. I feel that's as good a point to end on as anything.
Movies, Carter wants less
Yeah,
dialogue. in
I'm
movies.
just gonna skip
Less
on the dialogue now.
More
We're going to hit the trailer for Mandy so you can actually see it, as I didn't have it running in the background while we were doing that. And we're going to be back where we're going to be talking about Color Out of Space, which I think we all enjoyed. No.
Carter didn't.
I'm ambivalent about it.
I hate being the asshole in the room, dude.
Trailer.
More to come.
Under the crimson, primordial sky, the wretched warlock reached into the dark embrace. His fist around the serpent's eye. Strange and eternal.
I need you to get me that girl I saw. You know what to do.
You're a special one, Mandy. I, too, am a special one. Let us be so very special together.
So what you gonna do with that thing?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil.
You think you're so in love? I'll show you love.
Oh, man. They wronged you. You exceed the cosmic darkness.
It glowed from within, strange and eternal.
There we go. And we're back. That was the trailer for Mandy. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I would it be one that I'd be chucking on the whole time? I'm not 100% sure. I did have a newfound appreciation for it watching it back a second time because, as I said, I felt just visually and audibly raped, to be honest, the first time I watched it. Like, I wasn't hungover and I could actually see how Giz was getting migraines and stuff. It was just watching it in the dark room was bad. Watching it with the lights on. I know that's kind of the unusual way, but if you're any bit kind of sensitive to lights, watch it with the lights on because it can induce a banging headache. But I feel that was by intention watching it a second time. Like it really affects the movie affects you physically, which is talent.
I will say though, I dug the anime kind of cut.
Yeah.
Where he got injured, and then like we did the whole animal and Mandy kind of like trying to take care of him. I did dig the fact that it wasn't just some, I don't know, like because I don't really know what you call it.
That cartoon section gives you an indication into the style of character that he is as well. He's not this big Greek or big hulking Greek Adonis or anything. He's this beast, this feral, blood-curdling, man-mangling beast. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking... I love it. Yeah.
He's
but that little
done.
sequence is to show, like, he gets stabbed, he sees the missus getting done, and that's literally, you see him, like, transforming back into what he was, and then fucking, as I said, it's hunting time. Nicolas Cage hunting season.
Yep.
It's good times. Anyway, from...
Oh, no.
Go on.
I will say... My biggest complaint was when the Horseman #1 got hit. The fact that this big ass truck.
So.
Yep. Moment. Like that was my hang up.
It blew a tire.
No, to be fair, he hit your man and the entire thing went boom.
I thought it was because isn't that the guy that's covered in spikes?
Yeah, Spiky. I called him fucking Spiky for the rest of the film.
I think it was like he blew a fucking tire or something and it just boom, fucking flipped the truck.
Oh, okay. You know what? Then I'm cool. All right. Because
that was my take. That was my takeaway from it.
Like I couldn't figure out how hitting.
No, don't get me wrong. It doesn't delude me that the biology and physiology of it doesn't make sense because. If the truck hit you that hard that one of those spikes drove into its tire, you should be fucking meat patty on the fucking ground. But
I just feel like maybe a radiator was fucked up, but I didn't really see like a truck flipping the amount of times that they kind of made it feel like.
I got the impression
film.
It was like tire got spiked and he was bombing it up the road at your man, and because tire blew out and bombing it up the road resulted in just fucking flip.
Okay, you know what? Then I'm good. So, yeah, Mandy, rock on.
That's what I thought. Although, I do agree, your man should have been a fucking beef patty on the fucking ground if the truck hit him that hard. But I don't know. Acid gives you superpowers.
Right. Apparently, Mandy gives
technically
a lot of
can't
motherfuckers
actually
superpowers. The whole
either.
The gray jar. Right, the gray jar gives everybody fucking superpowers.
There's something up with those guys anyway, because if you were... Look, I won't lie to you. If you were taking acid like that, you'd probably die, to be honest.
No.
Yeah. Your body would just go into fucking toxic shock, essentially. Like, do you know what I mean? Even Richard Brake's character who's just washing his hands in the bowl of it. It's just kind of like, bro... Like, if you ever saw...
I was thinking that as well.
If you ever saw... Do you ever see a movie called Salt Lake City Punk? It's got Matthew Lillard and Devon Sawa and all of them in it. It's like these punks back in the was it early 80s or something. But anyway, Devon Sawa's character deals acid and he's got a load of sheets in his pocket. I can't remember what he had them wrapped in or whatever, but he had them wrapped in something like because he was going selling it.
Yeah, it melts.
Yeah. But some car drives by and splashes him with water. And all the acid kind of melts in his pocket. He's in a fucking mental home for fucking a numerous amount of years after it. And after that, then he's literally just begging on the street like a fucking whack job. Like take that much straight acid would wank you up. And that was like cardboard tabs.
Yeah.
Like Richard Brake's literally washing. You don't need to ingest acid for it to work. You just, if if you get skin contact, it'll start taking effect. It's just obviously ingesting it is a much more effective method.
Okay, see, I didn't realize that. I thought it was all ingested. I didn't realize. So, like, okay, so that really actually makes that moment more, because I didn't realize him being barehanded actually added to that scene.
That's why I was saying about the Nicolas Cage bit earlier, that it was like it even if he was like normal acid that he dipped his finger into and licked, he had been fucking blown off his fucking tits, let alone that fucking crazy biker fucking acid that he's taken. He should have just been on the floor having a spaz attack. Do you know what I mean? That's
yeah. So really, like, Cage should have died like 3 or 4 fucking times, because you think about the fucking piece of glass he picked up, there was like a mound of fucking coke on that bitch, and he just kind of like.
I don't know. If anything, I'd say the coke would probably half level him out.
Yeah.
Right, but I just mean, like, he hit that fucking piece of glass and was like, so where's my crossbow? Where's my axe? Oh, look, there it is.
And really, it's my fault this time, so I can't give out. Well, I am giving out, but to me personally, but this has turned more into a chemistry lesson than a fucking movie review show. All of a sudden, a good chemistry lesson, obviously, if you're into that kind of thing, because it's essentially a shopping list of how to get fucked up. Anyway,
the science guy.
A year after Mandy, a completely different production.
SLC Punk, that's what it was.
That's what I just said. Salt Lake City.
Sorry.
That's what SLC is. Salt Lake City Punk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. But thank you. I've only.
That's what it was. I'm sure
congratulations.
I explained that.
No. Congratulations. You knew the full title. I've only ever known it as SLC Punk, so I didn't realize it was like Salt Lake City.
The whole thing takes place in Salt Lake City. That's why it's called Salt Lake City Punk.
Fucking watch it, bro.
Okay. Have you not? You haven't seen it? Oh, you should see that movie. It's fucking amazing. Really good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Like, yeah. So,
yeah. Anyway, 2019. We'd all gotten over Mandy a little bit, and we were kind of like, oh, thank God. Okay, my brain's back to normal. The room has stopped spinning, and that wom 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 feeling and noise that I've had in my head for the last 12 months has dissipated. And then someone found, while rummaging through a closet somewhere, that like, hey, do you know H.P. Lovecraft did a short story called Color Out of Space, and I don't think anyone's made a movie about it yet. Fuck off, really? Yeah, I'm not joking. I think there's a Lovecraft thing that someone hasn't asked fucking used already. Well, we should ask fucking use it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, that's an H.P. Lovecraft thing.
Giz had this conversation with you. God damn your ADD, dude. He's had this conversation during the.
Okay, you know what? Maybe it's not cool to point that out. Like, I own it.
Oh, sorry, dude.
All right, cool. Whatever.
I was just like, the only reason I mentioned it is because you answered back when Giz was talking about it being a H.P. Lovecraft story. I remember the conversation because it literally happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. 5 minutes ago. All right, cool.
Woo!
Says my ADD. Thank you. Point that out. Point that out. It's cool.
I thought it was okay to point out because you pointed out like on a regular basis.
Times.
So maybe I need things repeated to me. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I just thought it was a thing that was on the table.
No,
okay.
That's cool. Color space. Yeah.
Or space and it's colorful.
This is a conversation Giz and I have the whole time because he's he's one of those fucking, that's not how the book did it kind of people. As a movie, I enjoyed this. As a true rendition of the Color Out of Space story, it is not.
So, like, did you read the book too, or just?
I've read Color Out of Space. It's not a book. It's like a novella. It's like a couple of pages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said novella this time. It's same thing.
Right. No, like, because like Giz, he's like, hey, so back in like fucking 82, some dude had an idea. So when you're like, oh yeah, I read it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. because it usually falls. Giz read it. Johnny knows about it. Me and Buzz are like, what? So
that's pretty much the totem.
If it's Lovecraft, there's a good.
That's being
if it's
dick,
Lovecraft,
right.
there's a good 60% chance of Reddit. Probably, give or take. Yeah.
See, and I didn't realize it. Like, so Color of Space was my intro.
Johnny
to
also
story.
reads a lot. I just managed to, because I think it's just because like I shoot stuff. I can kind of differentiate between like there's a lot of stuff I'm willing to allow slide because cinema production, not novel, if you know what I mean. Whereas Giz is kind of the opposite, especially if it's a comic book.
No, and I'm
waiting to say my piece until after we've talked about what happens in the
Color
film.
Out of Space.
Because I dig the shit out of
Color Out of Space. Give me a minute because I can't remember any of the fucking dudes' names for some reason.
We have the Gardner family.
Yeah, okay, we'll just do it as the Gardner family. That's perfect. Okay, anyway, the Gardner family have moved out to Nicolas Cage's dad's farm and have taken over the farm and have. I don't know, were they alpaca farmers initially, but they were fucking alpaca farmers once they moved there. I'll tell you that straight out.
fucking
Nicolas Cage and the wife. The wife is still trying to kind of do her city job kind of thing while out in the farm, and there's a whole bunch of torment there because the internet's fucking wacky as fuck out there in the first place. And Nicolas Cage, I got the impression, was kind of, I didn't get the impression. It's very well told. He's a writer. Writing's not going well, so now he farms. That's because that's the logic. I've failed at this word writing thing, so I'm going to try milking some fucking alpacas. I think that's the most natural progression for things to go. That was
gross.
They have their 3 kids with them. They're all out in the farm. It's a really nice farm. Don't get me wrong. It's a massive house, really nice farm and everything. But you know, they're a happy family and they have their little funny quirks. And the daughter's like a raging goth and completely into Wicca. The brother's an absolute fucking pothead, and the younger brother's. He's adorable, I suppose. He doesn't really have.
I feel like you're
really do much in the dialogue
I feel
department.
like we shit on everybody but the kid.
Well, I'm saying that I suppose was in a non-complimentary manner. I suppose. Like he did, like dialogue-wise, the kid doesn't really. Well, I mean, in fairness, the kid doesn't need to talk for his purpose. His purpose of being in the story is that at some stage when stuff goes tits up, we need a creepy fucking child, and fuck it, he'll do.
Yep. Nope,
yeah,
you're right.
Anyway, they're all the wife's had surgery, and they're all going to bed one night, and herself and Nicolas Cage are getting down to a bit of the marital businesses. You know what I mean? All the kids are lying in bed or asleep or watching things, and this fucking resonant sound out of nowhere starts to ring through the sky like someone. I can't even. If you ever saw that scene from Howard Stern where he set that woman on the amp, that kind of noise, just
yeah,
and the sky starts to turn purple, and then a massive space rock flies through and lands in their garden in all its glowingness. Everyone seems to kind of nearly freeze as the thing is landing, about to crash into their backyard. And then when it hits, not unlike Mandy, there's a bass drop, and then the kid just starts fucking screaming, which is, as Giz will testify with any movie, if you want to lose me on your character very quickly, be a screaming kid, because Vivarium, I'll never forget it. That's all I'm going to say. That fucking kid. Oh, Jesus. I always remember when we did the review of that episode as well, and you were like, I actually was surprised you watched the whole movie, because the first thing I thought was that kid was going to start screaming. If that was me, that kid would have been out a fucking window within 24 hours. Gone. Pick a window, alien child. You're fucking
Thank you.
Both. Goodbye. Anyway, everyone starts going out in the back garden. The cops are called the following day. The kind of like, what is he? Biologist, ecologist, hydrologist.
Hydrologist.
He's there. He's out there to check the water table because they're planning on building a reservoir in that area.
Conveniently, because they do actually need his expertise quite later on in the movie, so it's handy he's knocking about.
Well, because they were talking about doing the whole fucking dam and stuff like that. So they brought out the hydrologist to They never really said what he was supposed to do. Like he was
He's
just out
checking
there
the water
checking.
table because they're going to be doing a reservoir.
Yeah.
He
Right.
needs to see what the water is like out there before they actually
'cause
put this
if it's
thing
shitty
together.
water, there's no point building a reservoir of shitty water.
Oh, look. Color space, day late and dollar short. All right.
Yeah, so he's having a look about, obviously, because there's the massive glowing space rock in their back garden. He's kind of like, that's kind of weird. Everyone seems relatively nonchalant about the fact that a massive space rock that's glowing purple is landing in their back garden. You start to see some crazy looking bugs emerge from the thing, which is a bit odd. And then essentially, I suppose there's no point going as deep into this as we did with Mandy. Otherwise, there's no point to talking about the movie at the end of it. Essentially, the space rock has planted itself into their back garden like a big old space seed and is growing its own ecology around it. And that ecology is very much affecting people in the house and making them go fucking crazy. And
like this movie is why I wish it was older. I have so many fucking questions and problems.
Okay. We're nearly there, and then we can get into all those questions and problems. The ecology's there. People start mutating. Things start going on. There's a massive purple light octopus that lives in their well. And as you can imagine, it is based on... I'm going to say the word loosely, because I feel that's more appropriate. As you can imagine, because it's very loosely based on a Lovecraft story, a whole lot of strange shit starts to happen. And that's a very rough synopsis of Color Out of Space. I'm sure we're going to give you a more in-depth plot detail as we start talking about it, as is the customary format of the show.
But like, we try not to give shit away, so like,
it's 2 years old.
To be fair,
I think everyone's seen this movie.
This was an older film.
Just so you know, to be fair, the story was written, I think, about maybe 90 years ago
or something, wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
Try 20s or 30s, dude.
But put on
Spoiler
real. Thank you. Right, but put on real like 2 years ago. 3.
Yeah. Look,
for the non-book readers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's the thing, right? Richard Stanley is the guy who directed and co-wrote. He's saying, "Color Out." I'm doing is this is supposed to be the start of a trilogy. Now, I didn't know that the first time I watched this film. All I knew was I really liked.
They want to do a trilogy.
Hang on, bear with me. All I knew was I really liked the original Color Out of Space. I liked the story. I heard a really good audio drama for it. I like it. I put this on, and instantly I went, Nicolas Cage is completely, utterly, totally, absolutely fucking wrong. Like, his character is the complete opposite of the Gardner character in the original story. And like I said, watching it now, knowing that it's supposed to be the start of a trilogy, there's a couple of things that are put into it that I thought I could see what he was planning on doing, especially since the Dunwich Horror is supposed to be the next one. I can understand a lot of the changes that they made. It's just, for me personally, there's a lot of stuff in this that looks brilliant and that works in regards taking the original ideas from the story and putting them in context onto the screen. Because one of the things in the original story is that nobody's actually able to define what that color is. It's just this light. Oh, but in the movie, because it's a visual thing, we're given a color.
Nicolas Cage, when he's explaining something, he's like, there was this weird purple light, and then he's like, well, I wouldn't even call it purple. It was like some color I've never seen before.
Yeah, like I feel like he really attempted to label that, dude.
No, part of the reason for that is the meteorite, and they do show it in the film. When it hits originally, it is large, it is glowing, but it is shrunk down the next day. Now, they don't really go into proper detail in the story, in the film, but in the story, he actually, there's scientists that are called out to check this out from the Arkham University, and they start chipping away at it, and they notice that it's not solid, it's very malleable. They eventually get inside in it, and they find like a globule of something that looks like what the light would look like, and this just disintegrates. But the whole time, this has landed next to the well, so it's always been applied to the water table. That's why it lives in the well. It's seeking seeking out that, and it's just made its home in that area, and then it leaches out from that into the ecology and into the ecosystem.
Yes.
I'm going to go, hey, Sweet just signed off, so nice, Sweet Rabbit. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See you later.
Art said that they use the color magenta because it fucks with your eyes.
Sweet.
That's why they use that.
It'd be a good one, because I think it's described as being difficult to like it in the story, the original story, the color they couldn't describe it, and it's would fuck with your eyes. I suppose is the best way of putting it.
Right.
I like how each person seems like they're affected like in a different way. Like they're not all affected in the same way, which is what I like. Because like the girl, the daughter, or whatever, it almost seems like it's a thing that like affects her physically. She gets sick in a couple scenes, and then like the older son, he keeps talking about like time. Time keeps like either going like too far ahead. They keep going around with the alpacas where he's like, I thought I told you to put them away. It's like, well, I did just not that long ago. Like time seems to be messed up with him. Nicolas Cage's character, he just goes absolutely Nicolas Cage and just goes batshit crazy because he gets that little bit on his hand. And it's kind of like he kind of gets always scratching at it.
Well,
it's almost like a little
his whole
dark,
arm is becoming deformed from it.
Yeah. It starts. Yeah. Eventually, it starts off and then just like starts growing as it goes on. But he has like this like
none of that happens in the original story that way.
We're not reviewing the story. We're reviewing the movie.
Oh no, I'm just
okay.
No.
I was gonna be a dick and say that, but
no, my point was going to be in the original story, it affects everyone the exact same way. So this is something they did differently in the film. There's a lot of things they did differently in the film that I enjoyed seeing. I can understand why they did it differently. So I was just making that point that's something.
I think the reason he's so mutated compared to others is he's had the most exposure to it because he's literally out picking crops and picking plants and fucking eating it at one stage, and even the water.
Well, okay, and the moment the moment it lands, he's the first one to bitch about the smell. Everybody else is like, dude, what are you talking about?
That was something that I was like, he kept talking about the smell, and then I kind of like checked out for a second, and then I like kind of watched back, and I'm like, why is he the only one affected by the smell? Like he's
Art even pointed out like there's a similarity between the brother and sister because the knife washing scene when she's washing the knife at the sink, when she finally kind of clicks back in, the whole
she loses time,
sink's overflowing and everything.
Right.
So her and the brother are having time distortions, and the young brother's definitely having time distortions as well because he just stands it that well.
His name Lavinia is the reason why I thought it was going to be directly connecting with the Dunwich horror. I was like, I think I know where this is going now.
The only reason why I mentioned the time thing is because he's the only one that mentions it. Like he, in a couple of different scenes, he literally mentioned time it affects time, and he mentions a couple other times about
Right, because he went out at like fucking 9 a.m. to go get the alpacas and bring them in. And it was like, hey, so I just kind of blinked and it was nighttime. She blinked and she's like got water on the floor because the sink's overflowing. Like, so the kids have this weird separation of
Nicolas Cage has time loops as well, and I think the wife's the only one I didn't really suffer from it. Right. The thing is, there are a lot of correlating things that are happening between all of them, but there's also stuff that seems to be specifically towards each person as well. Like Lavinia definitely has extra stuff.
Yeah, no. Like it's their own kind of fucking pocket because she's doing dishes and also kind of fighting this like, oh God, my stomach. She goes to the bathroom. Like we focus on her. We focus on him. Like we're all getting our own moments.
It's interesting that from a certain point of view, everything they go through can be described as radiation sickness.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would even describe Nicolas Cage's arm. They look like just severe radiation burns.
Yeah, and Lavinia getting sick because she's too close to it.
Yeah, but they're all drinking the water as well, which the thing is pretty much set up shop in as well.
Yeah.
They're drinking like radiated water.
Because like I was gonna say because Art points out it's like drinking the ice made with the drink because Nicolas Cage kept pouring his drinks, but we saw like that slight tint in his ice. You know,
There's, I will say storyline wise or pacing wise that I agree with what you were saying a little bit earlier. Is visually, this is gorgeous. There's loads of just awesome shots and visuals. It drags, and I feel it's you can kind of tell.
It's the family build-up stuff that
you can
drags it
kind
out.
of tell that there's a lot of that added in to fluff up a short story to a feature-length film. Because it does drag a lot of it does drag a lot of ass initially.
As I said, I thought those were for building on for the sequels, especially when I realized watching it the second time around, oh, the girl's name is Lavinia. The next one he's planning on doing is the Dunwich Horror. Now this makes sense why they're building up the family. But like, and then it's kind of like, well, maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes.
The problem was,
and that's cool for you.
I feel they had the family built up
say,
in a relatively okay amount of time, and then just kept doing it afterwards. Do you mean it was like in the first 15 minutes I had pretty good grasp on it? Like, she's the little goth chick. You know, she's into nature, she's into Wiccan and stuff like that. Mom's a fucking businesswoman, she's fucking knuckling down. Dad's a fucking failed writer. The brother's just, young brother's quiet, and the other brother's the fucking stereotypical, 16, 17-year-old pothead.
Oh, I didn't even get the failed writer part.
I'm correct, failed writer, or am I just pulling from the book?
No,
that's not part of the.
It's not the book.
I didn't see that in the movie.
Himself and the wife are having a conversation standing out on their not balcony, decking, I suppose, kind of like outside the house.
Porch.
When he's talking about why he had to move up to the dad's farm in the first place.
Okay, so I blinked, like legit. So thank you.
Also,
I thought
just in case, the lad that's up there checking out the water table. He's a character from the book, but he's a land surveyor that goes up. Now, what's interesting is the sheriff is named Pierce, and what happens is this land surveyor goes up. Here's all these stories about this stuff that happened years ago where this family disappeared after this and went off. Runs into a guy named Amy Pierce. Amy Pierce is a neighbor of the gardeners and tells him the story. So Ward, the guy going up checking the water table, is actually supposed to represent the original guy going up to survey the land for the dam that would eventually get built.
Oh God. Okay. So that's just so much more fucking information than I needed.
Sorry.
You broke.
Okay, you know what?
Damn you and your facts, Giz. Damn
you. Dope was like, I will say, okay, I watched like an hour and somewhat long fucking film of like a meteorite, lightning, water, rained. Hey, so like they did a really good job on like the fucking color. I dug the color. The fucking like the color of the film was fucking awesome.
That it?
Yep.
Cool
story. People.
Cool.
I dug the color because I did not like the fucking
killer
movie.
mutant alpacas. Nothing.
Yep. Oh, they did like they stole some from the Thing. Go for you. Like no color.
The mother son hug of death. I'm trying not to.
Did a cool fucking steal from the Thing, like the alpacas. Cool. No. Okay, cool. They did a color thing. Like I dug, and like the music was cool. So and Cage was in it. Fucking weird. Cage was like fucking Cage weird. I
thought he was quite subdued compared to.
He's going off. He's going off like a rant that I would normally go off on when you guys suggest movies.
Like, now
I kind of know where you guys are coming from.
I appreciate the fact that when we did the poll, like, hey, we need a Nicolas Cage film. But when I look at like Nicolas Cage films that I've watched, I'm like, I feel like Nicolas Cage Mom and Dad is better than like Nicolas Cage Color of Space or Mandy.
Yeah, quite possibly true. It's a
I
shame
like
we
Aliens,
did a
so
poll
I was pretty interested
where
in
it was
it.
the public voted.
So it's,
why we did a poll.
the thing I liked, and this is going to be kind of like, I don't want to like tease it too much, or not tease it, but like ruin it at the end. I like the ending because of, I'll just say, the
I think Greta
lack of
disagrees with you.
color. That I'm fine with that. Hey, you know what? This is payback for all the times that I disagree.
Just wait till I make you fucking watch some shit, bro.
I've already shit.
Okay, cool. We're keeping points. It's cool.
Yeah, I like the explosion of the. Or no, I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to ruin it because it came out in the 20s, I guess.
19th.
No, I get it. Like, I think that's my problem. Like, I just didn't get the ending. It just, in the scope of everything, I just did
As
not
I said,
get
to
the
quote
ending.
Tommy Lee Jones's character from Men in Black, she ain't dead. She just went home.
Not just her, overall.
Huh? You don't get the ending overall?
Yeah, like, if this thing had grown, like it took over my property, all right? Like, every day showed it growing plants and things. Like, there's this beautiful, like, oh my God, dude, beautiful, vivid color, all right?
Yeah.
But then, like, oh my God, Nicolas Cage has lost his shit. I've got a sheriff. Oh my God, we've lost our shit. The end, like, it did not, like, why did it not suck up the fucking planet? It was just
because it left the seed behind and then moved on to the next world after getting the energy to leave the world.
Because, okay, and like you read, what'd you call it?
No, because you see the little insect thingy still flying around, and all the nature around the place is still fucked up.
So what stopped it from just sucking literally everything up? Nothing really stopped it from just planet 1, planet 2, planet 3. Like, nothing really stopped it from just like, oh, hey, we're just going to suck this bitch up, shoot it off kind of thing.
And that's the point. Nothing has stopped it. It's still there.
Yeah. If the bug is still alive, the ecology can still survive.
Right.
So it's going to keep growing and spreading out is the thing. It's a world eater.
So why did we have So why did we have this big theatrical fucking like spiral thing of, oh, we're flashing back and forth her forehead? That's my point. Like, why did we have this big theatrical thing?
Because that's how
it's
the same way it arrived. It happened on the ground instead of in the sky.
That was like
it came through that big portly looking thing in the sky initially.
Okay.
Planted the seed and then went back off to plant one on another planet. Yeah.
But why did it go back off the planet? Why did it not like suck up because Tommy Chong said it sucks up life, it sucks up this, blah 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 blah. So why did it not suck? Why did it not like take everything all at once and make the big move?
Because it's a parasitic organism. A parasitic organism also needs to reproduce, and it can't reproduce if it kills off all the host in one fell
swoop. So for it to reproduce, it lays its eggs upon the thing that it wants to reproduce on, and then fucks off and lays eggs on something else, so it has multiple attempts at fucking seeding.
I.e., oh, hey, I felt like writing 3 more fucking stories.
No, the other stories are completely different.
Yeah, everything after this movie is...
Dunwich Horror is a completely different story.
Oh, okay.
The Dunwich Horror is closer related to Castle Freak than this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why when I saw the girl's name was Lavinia, I went, oh, that's what the connection is going to be. Because Lavinia Waitley is the mother of the Dunwich Horror.
See, and to me, because I've not read any of this, I just felt like it was maybe I'll make $10 on a sequel. It didn't make any fucking sense, dude.
Hmm.
It was tethered to our property. Why not our town or state? Like, because it was sucking up anything that came
here's
into
the easiest
it.
way of explaining it, right? Say if a bee laid an egg when it stung you, right? Does the bee hang around on your arm afterwards, or does it fuck off and try and sting someone else? That's a bad analogy. Sorry, wasp, because bees die.
No, you know what? That actually makes fucking sense, dude. Because as I watch it, I'm like, okay, so oh boy did this, oh girl did that. Like, none of that made sense. But if I wait, okay, cool. So you know what? Cool, whatever.
As to the idea of the trilogy, I don't know if there will be any interconnection between the stories. Like I said, the next one, see, all of Lovecraft's stories, or the vast majority of them, take place in and around Arkham, and usually in and around the same time period, between the end of the 1800s and the start of the 1900s. So as a result, you do sometimes get characters reappearing, or you get references to characters that might have appeared in other stories. Just like when we had Dr. Armitage, who would have been referenced in one story and then popped up in something else.
Yeah, everything. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It all happens in the same universe, but not everything's interconnected.
Precisely, yeah.
Okay.
It'd be like if you think of fucking what's his name? No, it's gone out of my head. Terry Pratchett. If you look at all the Terry Pratchett books and stuff like that, they happen in the same universe, but some stories are about these lads over here doing their thing. Some stories about these lads over here doing their thing. We're all flying at the back of a space turtle. It's all good. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I put a bit of Stephen King in there. Oh, no, wait, this is Space Turtle and Terry Pratchett as well. Yeah.
Pratchett is a space turtle.
I liked the John Carpenter's Thing aspect of it.
The body horror aspect of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which would have been there, but in a completely different way. It's anyone affected. It's not what they did. Instead, people first they go fucking nuts, and then they become hollowed out. They become gaunt, and they literally crumble to
like
dust.
Tommy Chong's character.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. The Lavinia flying off into the portal. The Lavinia flying off and being absorbed by the entity and into the portal is a different thing. If memory serves me correctly. Because none of them go flying off into space.
It could be a different thing. We won't know unless we.
Anyway, we're going to... Jesus, that was way more in-depth than I was expecting. We're going to hit the trailer for Color Out of Space, and we're going to goodbye, let you know what's coming up for next week, and say our goodbyes and all of those things. So catch you in a second.
Look at this.
All those years in the big city, we finally got out. We're living the dream.
Maybe it is a dream.
Then everything just blew up. Big flash, like a pink light. Or actually, I don't even know what color it was. It wasn't like any color I'd ever seen before.
Looks like a meteorite. You think it's radioactive? I mean, it's from space, right?
Meteorites are generally no more dangerous than ordinary rocks.
How can something that big just disappear? Did you plant those?
No.
Ward, you come here for a sec.
Oh, God.
What are you doing? Shh. It's talking to me. Who's talking to you? A man in the well.
It's in the static, it's in the moisture. It's in here, is out there. And what's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That thing from the meteorite changes everything around it.
It's just a color. But it burns.
Do you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore. Everything's gonna be A-okay.
I'm sorry, I
All
got a
good.
message.
And we're back. That was the trailer for Color Out of Space. So, yeah, RLJE films. I enjoyed it. A little bit slow, but I overall I enjoyed it. I likes me a bit of Lovecraftian sprinklings on something. And I will say sprinklings because it's, you know what I mean?
I'm not going to lie. I think I'd enjoy this film a lot more if Nicolas Cage wasn't like being over the top Nicolas Cage, because it's
he was
just
actually overly over the top in this.
maybe it's just because knowing what the original version of the
Don't get me wrong.
characters like, it's
towards the
kinda
end of
weird.
the movie, he goes a little bit OTT, but I think that's kind of intended. Like,
yeah,
Okay, but like
the
Giz
end of
read
it, I
the
accept
book,
it.
right? Like Giz read the book. This was an intro to it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why are we like? Oh, this is just weird. Like,
okay, so we didn't do them as we were going along, so we'll just do them all now before we get into the goodbyes and all of that. So, people's movie ratings. Oh God, excuse me. People's movie ratings for Face Off, please. You got one Gorecaster each to work around with.
One for
Straight
me.
out one for Face Off.
Yes. Yes.
Face Off,
Okay.
solid one.
One.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with
Yeah,
Uno
one for me as well.
Gorcasco.
Okay, so that's 4 Gorecasters out of 4, which that's good for Face Off. So obviously, go see that. Mandy.
With the hindsight of not being suffering from alcohol poisoning / hangover / why did I do that to myself, I'm willing to give Mandy one full gore casting, because it is a modern interpretation of high-ass fantasy, and I love my high-ass fantasy, because that film was high-as ass. Hang on, that doesn't sound right.
Someone else do a rating quick
it's
before
perfect.
we dwell on that too long.
I give it a half. It was too crazy.
Carter?
Too much
Okay,
peace.
and I'm going to give it a 1 as well. Because I really enjoyed it around the second time round. And like I know I said I probably wouldn't be throwing it on again off the top of my head. If I had mates over, though, I possibly would, because it leaves a lot for discussion.
I liked it. But it was slow here and then too quick here.
That's probably the acid. To be honest, you've just described acid. And finally, Color Out of Space. 1. Okay.
I'm going to have to go with a half on this one. Just because it's so difficult for me to enjoy it because of the way that, admittedly, part of it is the knowledge that I already have, but it's also God's damn Nicolas Cage just bugs the shit out of me in this one.
And then I'm going to interrupt Giz and go, hey, I'm going to give it a half. Cool. I'm going to give it a half too. So there's 2 halves. Doesn't matter what he said because there's 2 halves.
I'll go 1. The story didn't bug me. The story discrepancies between literature and cinema didn't bug me as much as it bugged Giz.
Yeah.
To be honest. I'll go 1. Okay, so we got a 4-star, we got a 3-star, and we got a... Oh, wait, hang on. What were you for Mandy? You were 2 halves. Buzz and Carter, was it?
I was a or Mandy.
Okay,
was
yeah.
a
So
half.
okay, so we got
Half.
2 3s and a 4. For not bad, not bad.
For the cage
Yeah,
fight.
we had
Not
for-
bad for
for
cage
a
fight.
cage fight.
Face off.
Face off wins the
deservedly
cage
wins
fight.
the cage fight because if any of the characters,
Unsurprising, it's directed by John
I'll tell you
Woo.
I'll tell you something. It's for nothing. I wouldn't mind seeing Nicolas Cage's character from Mandy and Castor Troy getting into it. That would be a fight of viciousness.
Red, I think, is the name of his character in Mandy.
Oh, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, probably because his face was red for most of it. That would have a lot to do with it.
Red Miller, and she's Mandy Bloom.
Yeah. Castor Troy and Red Miller having a fucking man off. That'd be anyway, right. That's it for us this week. Next week we have coming up on Original Versus. Oh no, sorry, that's not. Sorry, I'm wrong. That's not it for this week at all. Sorry, I was totally mistaken. Coming up on Sunday night, if you remember, myself and Giz also have a podcast where we do the old school Sundays, where we are going to be. I don't know what we're going to be covering because it's.
We'll be covering stuff.
We'll be covering stuff. Yeah, we're not 100% sure because there was a slight change in lineup with the American Horrors lineup, so we're technically a show ahead on the podcast. So, customarily, I'll say screeners as a filler-inner for the minute.
There might have been a couple of interesting new things that have cropped up on my radar in the last week or
Yes,
two.
I'll say screeners for the time being because I believe I also saw interesting emails as well.
Okay.
Just as a filler, it may not necessarily. We might come up with just a off-the-wall theme show because we haven't done one in a while. But they're all very much in accordance with the TV show. You and I haven't just done a crazy one of those things anyway. So that's going to be coming up on Sunday. Coming up next Tuesday, Buzz and Carter are going to be doing for original versus remake. What you doing, kids?
Doing Godzilla.
They're doing Godzillas.
Doing some Godzilla.
Quick explanation.
1984.
Yeah, quick explanation.
1956
Going
versus
through the sky, his head in the sky, Godzilla.
Stop singing over his
Godzilla.
adverse. Thanks. Say that again.
Godzilla 1956 or 1954 versus 1984.
Because they're the remakes, because there's way more historical levelings of what
Yes.
Godzilla's what
Right.
and what remade who. So I was unaware. I learned a whole lot about Godzilla.
84 is a reboot / sequel, so it's more kind of a reboot more than a remake, but it still follows under the same thing.
Perfect.
Oh, that was a thing.
Next Thursday, we're going to be back and we're doing Mighty Morphin Monster movies. So we wanted to review PG Psycho Gorman from the same guys who brought us Color Out of Space. And we're going to... What was the one you had in mind, Gizzles?
An old Japanese live action called Zirium, based on an anime of the same name.
So we're going to have Zirium, we're going to have Psycho Gorman, and one yet to be determined because we're going to try and find some other sort of Power Rangery style, martial artsy horror movie.
I think that. Yeah, I think there's a couple of
I
potential
feel
ones that
we're
we
gonna
need to
be
narrow down.
Swafting back to Japan. Don't ask me why. I just got a feeling.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be that for Thursday, and that's it. If, as I said at the start of the show, if any people happen to be new to the chat here and you haven't given a like and subscribe, if you fancy hitting that subscribe button down below, because it'll help us get to that 1,000 where we can start making some fucking actual monetizations. Probably not, because they'll probably be like, no, you're still not allowed to make money, and be like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
you
can
And
really
also,
bring
if you
us
did enjoy
down
the show
every
tonight and you want to be
episode.
notified as to when we will be doing shows again, which are, just in case you didn't know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. But there's a bell, and if you ring that bell, a good from what we're hearing back, a good 40 to 45% of the time, they'll notify you when the show's gone live.
It seems to work as long as you're not in Ireland.
Yeah. So hit the bell, hit all of that, and that's it. Oh no, sorry, I forgot. On Sunday, as is customary, after the podcast, myself and Giz are over in American Horrors, Tubi TV, and Strictly Streaming, and the American Horrors website as well, and on Roku, where we're going to be talking about some of the craziest mind-controlling ways that your mind can get confoodled in some of the craziest horror movies. So use channel code AMHOR to add American Horrors to your Roku listings. If you don't have Roku, you can watch it on Tubi TV, strictlystreaming.com, and AmericanHorrors.com. And that will be 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever time that equates to as GMTs. So, whole bunch of mind control confoolery going on, which we technically did the podcast for last week. But here's the trailer if you haven't seen it. And other than that, we'll say bye, friends. Thanks for joining us. We had a great time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, friends. Oh yeah, sorry. Before we go, we'll have a poll up once we figure out the third Mighty Morphin Monster movie and see what one we're doing for the group watch next Wednesday. And other than that, because it won't be Psycho Goreman, because we'll figure out a third one for the group watch that might have nothing to do with the podcast or something, but fits in with the theme or something. Well, we're not doing Psycho Goreman. It's literally just out, so I'm not doing a screening of that. Right. Other than that, here's the trailer for this Sunday's podcast, and we'll catch you all during the weekend. Bye.
Component soldering is... Well, what's going on? Are you doing Miller episodes? Almost. I have another quick experiment I want to try with you first. If that's
No. We're done doing experiments, right? Last week you said fucking wrapping up my arse, okay? That's it. No more experimenting on this.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the rocket thing, because that's a multi-purpose tool.
What do you mean multi-buttons?
Rewind. Fast forward. Loop. Right, actually, this gives me a good idea for an episode. Show myself because this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that place is, GMTs, only on American Horrors, we're going to be talking about some of the craziest mind-controlled, brainwashing, and scientific brain tomfoolery known to horror.
Like of this
Halloween.
Yeah.
Don't forget, if you enjoy our Madcap Gorecast horror hijinks, we stream 3 nights a week over on YouTube, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, where you can see a little bit of this. Turd spoon, god damn, I knew there was something I wanted to bring up in the... God damn, I don't know what a fucking turd spoon is, but I'm mad to...
Yeah, pretty in-depth.
Most definitely some of this.
With a new 2009 twist. She pulls out of her vagina.
I'll give it to her though, because like, you know how like magicians kind of like do something and they pause dramatically? She took that dramatic pause.
And occasionally some of this.
Our favorite Halloween movies.
What's up, Gorecasters? Welcome back here to the Gorecast. Yeah, okay, I'm here. I'm back.